Morris got his bats while we were in Minnesota. I'm not sure if he didn't need an instruction manual on how to use those things. They're not real excited about hitting.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think it's very unfortunate for baseball. I think it's a big break for Atlanta. I think it's a big advantage. I think it's far better to have pitchers who hit all year and you adjust to the DH when you can bring a Brian Hunter into your lineup than it is to ask guys who haven't swung a bat, some of them in 10 years, to be expected to come out and contribute. Some of them might be pretty good hitters from their high school or college days, but they haven't swung the bat that much. So I think it's a big advantage for Atlanta, but I think baseball should be ashamed that everybody doesn't play by the same rules.
It is unusual that only in the postseason you have that difference in the rules. The Twins right now being announced, and guess who just got the call? Ken Herbeck has just been introduced as the Darth Vader here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and that all goes back to Game 2. He tips his cap to the crowd. All goes back to Game 2 when I think everybody who saw the play had to believe that Ken Herbeck at the very least aided Ronnie Gant off of that base, off of first base. It was the cause celeb so far in the World Series. It has been.
I'll tell you what, Dave, one thing I've learned just watching a couple of World Series here lately, American League umpires should never be allowed to umpire first base in a World Series. They screw up every play.
Yeah, well, it certainly appeared that way the other night. Herbeck said, as you would expect him to, I didn't help him off the base. His momentum carried him into me, and together we went off for first base. But clearly, even in the view of the umpires, some of the non-working umpires who commented on the play, it was a play that could have gone either way, not cut and dried, and Ronnie Gant, at least in our minds, was certainly pushed off of the base. Now, whether or not that was the vital play in the World Series, we won't know for a couple of more days, but it did really put a damper on what could have been a big Atlanta rally. David Justice would have been hitting with men on the corners.
And when you're struggling scoring runs, I mean, you can look at the 8th inning when the Braves had runners at first and third and one out and couldn't score. Nobody pushed anybody off a bag in that inning, so that was a key inning too. But when you're struggling scoring runs, anything that takes you out of a potential run-scoring situation can really be a key in the game. But the Braves can't look to one incident, just as they didn't look to David Justice missing third base or making a bad throw in the league championship series. You can't look at one incident like that and say, that's what cost you the series.
Well, the Braves are being introduced now to this capacity crowd, and the Tomahawk Chop is in full force, despite the protest from Native American Indians in Minnesota, and there are a good many of them living in that area. It doesn't seem to have put a damper at all on the response here by our capacity crowd. Indeed, you can hear the chant. Skip, that might be the loudest we've heard the chant since this thing started in August.
Yeah, I think it probably is. I think all that stuff is unfortunate. I can't think of a single Braves fan who has ever tried to demean anybody with this thing. It's all supposed to be fun, and everything in life can't be taken too seriously, I don't think.
Well, perhaps the best explanation of this whole protest that I heard, and maybe the most reasoned, was a school teacher here in Atlanta who is a Native American Indian. She said it's the responsibility of parents to explain to their children that this is not what it was like back in the Old West, that the Indians were not a bunch of savages. In fact, they were a peace-loving country at that time, and it's the duty of parents to explain that to their kids. But she wasn't going to come out to a ballpark and protest it.
No, I would say this would be the last place to really get into all that.
All right, we'll be back in a moment as the Atlanta Braves are introduced to this crowd. A thunderous applause. Terry Pendleton, Lonnie Smith, and Bobby Cox, the first three to be introduced. And here's Ronnie Gant as well. And the crowd is ready. There is no doubt about that. This place is ready to explode. More in a moment on the Atlanta Braves Baseball Network.
He's going. He's going to steal. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it. Yay!
How about that? Sherwin-Williams presents the Steal of the Week. Preserve and protect interior wood surfaces with Minwax polyurethane clear satin finish. A hard, long-lasting finish with a soft, natural appearance. A real steal at $7.99 per quart. Save $3.60. Sale ends November 2nd. If it's a steal of a deal, it can only be one place. The pros know. Ask Sherwin-Williams.
Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket, is proud to sponsor the Atlanta Braves, America's team. It's a great combination. America's favorite pastime and America's favorite supermarket. And Winn-Dixie's also proud to bring you low prices nobody can beat. Score big with WD brand U.S. choice beef, only from Winn-Dixie, and hit a home run with super savings and everyday low prices down every aisle in the store. So all you Atlanta Braves fans, slide on into your nearby Winn-Dixie for low prices nobody can beat on everything you need for the big game. Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket, a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves.
It's time for Letters to Dave, brought to you by Wendy's and its founder, Dave Thomas. A Wendy's customer in the chicken parts business writes,
Dear Dave, I recently had a Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich, and I thought, wow, what a sandwich, and wow, what a business opportunity. As sales representative for Chicken Parts R Us, I can provide you a cheap alternative to the whole boneless breast you currently use. We call it bits and pieces. We chunk and form parts into any shape you'd like. Legs, breast, heck, even a miniature 57 Cadillac. That's our classic series. We've saved some of your competitors a lot of money this way, and frankly, Dave, a whole chicken breast is great, but our slogan is, if you can make it out of parts, let's do it. Call you next week. Sincerely, Bill Hudson.
Dear Bill, our customers like Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich just the way it is, made with a whole boneless breast of chicken. As we say in the chicken business, don't call me, I'll call you. Your friend, Dave Thomas.
show your brave support by wearing the Tomahawk headband, available while supplies last at Wendy's on Monday and Tuesday, and at the AM-750 WSB Tomahawk tent at the stadium on Tuesday. Tomorrow, join us for Atlanta's morning news, weather, and traffic reports between 5 and 9 a.m. Plus, we'll settle on who's the best baseball player of all time on AM-750 WSB.
National anthem performed by Susan Slaughter, first trumpet with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Hello again, everyone. Don Sutton and the whole gang is here. Pete Van Wieren, Dave O'Brien, Skip Caray. Very happy to be bringing you Game 3 of the 1991 World Series. Braves down 2-0. Twins in to visit Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Their first taste of the chant and the tomahawk chop. A couple had to come out and take a look to make sure it was for real. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Minnesota Twins. Dan Gladden will lead off and play left field. Chuck Knobloch will bat second. He'll play second. Kent Herbeck, a few posters and a few banners surrounding Kent Herbeck. He'll hit third. He'll play at first. Batting cleanup and playing center field for the Twins, it's Kirby Puckett. Shane Mack gets the start in right field. He'll hit fifth. Scott Leyes will bat sixth, and he'll be at third. Greg Gagne is the shortstop. He'll be hitting seventh. Junior Ortiz, Erickson's personal catcher, is behind the plate, and Scott Erickson will be the pitcher. Erickson, 20-8 for the year, led the league, the American League, in wins. He made one start in the league championship series. He was knocked out at the end of 4 innings. This is his first World Series appearance. That's the lineup for the Minnesota Twins. For the Braves, who desperately need a win, here's the lineup Bobby Cox will send out there. Lonnie Smith will lead off and play left field. Batting second and playing third base, it's Terry Pendleton. Ron Gant gets the start in center. He'll hit third. Batting cleanup, David Justice, the right fielder. Sid Bream is at first. He'll hit fifth. Ironman Greg Olson behind the plate will hit sixth. Mark Lemke starts at second. Mark will hit seventh.
And again, the shortstop in batting 8th, it's Rafael Belliard. And on the mound, maybe the most talked about player in League Championship World Series history of recent years anyway, Steve Avery. Avery 18-8 during the year, .338 earned run average. He also making his first World Series appearance. He was 2-0. Did not allow a single earned run in the League Championship Series. As a matter of fact, his 16 1/3 scoreless innings, that's the League Championship record. Those are your starting lineups. And let's pause right here for station identification. You're listening to the Atlanta Braves on AM-750 WSB.
Kofor Brothers in Tucker salutes the miraculous Atlanta Braves. Go Braves! AM-750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
We're minutes away from the first pitch. Avery and the Braves are taking the field. The umpires for Game 3 will have Drew Coble at home plate, Terry Tata at first, Rick Reed is at second, Ed Montague over at third, Don Dinkinger of the American League down the left field line, and Harry Wendelstadt down the right field line. The official scorers, it's a little bit of a change when you get into postseason play, specifically the World Series. Tom Mee, who was the Twins' regular season scorer, he will be one of them. Mark Fredrickson, the Braves' regular season scorer, and Kid Steer, president of Baseball Writers of America, a 3-man team will decide the official scorers. Well, Avery's on the mound. He is completing his warm-up tosses. Braves have taken the field. Defensively, it'll be Smith, Gann, and Justice around the outfield. Pendleton, Belliard, Lemke, and Bream around the infield. Greg Olson again behind the plate. And the whiz kid, the phenom, the 21-year-old going on 35 on the mound. And to kick it off for you, to take you the first 2.5 innings of play-by-play, once again, a guy who's waited 17 years for this. Welcome, Pete Van Wieren. Okay, thank you, Don. Dan Gladden will be leading things off here for the Minnesota Twins. For the Minnesota Twins, they have a lot of players for whom this is not a brand new experience coming to this ballpark. A lot of National League experience on the Minnesota Twins team. That's not true of the Braves going to Minnesota. Only a couple of players that wear Atlanta uniforms now had never played in the Dome before. But guys, as you look at this lineup like Dan Gladden and Shane Mack and Junior Ortiz have all played several years in the National League. Chili Davis, another one with extended National League experience.
But I think you'll agree, Pete, there was no tomahawk and no chant when they visited here last time.
Not many people. There's a throw down to second by Greg Olson, and we're set to get it underway on a beautiful night here in Atlanta. Glad you could be with us for Game 3 of the 1991 World Series. Gladden leading it off, does not have a hit in the World Series. He is 0 for 6. He is 6 for 29 in postseason play, had a .247 average during the regular season. He's one of the guys that you like to keep off base because of his base stealing ability. And everybody wondering, can Steve Avery do it again? He has been absolutely unbelievable in situations like this down the stretch during the regular season. Remember, he beat the Dodgers twice. He also beat Houston on the Friday night, the day before the Braves clinched. And then those two remarkable performances against the Pirates in postseason play. And the first pitch of the night on the way to Dan Gladden. 1,000 flashes of light go off around the stadium as Gladden takes the ball low and outside. Everybody wanting to record that first World Series pitch ever thrown in Atlanta with their cameras. Now the 1-0 pitch on the way to Dan Gladden. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Avery, in each of the 2 playoff games of the Pirates, struck out the side in the first inning. The lefty winds, and a 1-1 pitch on the way, and there's a fly ball hit out to right center field. Ronnie Gadd on the run, and David Justice crosses in front of him, and they get their signals crossed. The ball rolls between them all the way to the wall. Gladden on his way to third. He'll be held up there. Both Gadd and Justice charging after that ball. Either one could have caught it, but they got their signals crossed, and it fell right between them.
Well, that's not good news. That's the way Tom Glavine's game started. Miscommunication between Mark Lemke and David Justice. Here, much of the same, and as you pointed out, Pete, either one could have had it, and that is not a good way to start the game.
So the Twins get a leadoff man at third with nobody out. And Chuck Knobloch, who's been a tough man to get out in postseason play, will step in. He's 3 for 6 in the World Series with an RBI. He was 7 for 20 in the American League Championship Series. They're going to score that, a 3-base hit for Dan Gladden.
Only because nobody touched it.
The infield in at the corners, back at second and short. The pitch to Knobloch, a right-hand hitter, is low, ball 1.
We saw that play in Game 2 disrupt Tom Glavine's timing. The real key right here for Steve Avery, if he wants to, is to go ahead and concede that 1 run. Just not let it prolong the inning and not make a mistake that would cost him 2 or 3 runs.
Knobloch, odds-on favorite to be the American League Rookie of the Year. Awaits the pitch from Avery, and he takes a fastball low. The count 2-0. A runner at third, nobody out here in the top half of the first inning. The same situation is probably true here in Atlanta, especially early in the game when the crowd's really into it, as is true much of the time in the Metrodome. There's a fly ball hit out to right field by Knobloch. It's going to be deep enough to score the run. Justice making the catch, tagging at third. Gladden heading for home, and the Twins have taken a 1-0 lead. Give Knobloch his second RBI of the World Series. And it's out number 1 here in the first. The situation I was referring to is sometimes at the Metrodome it gets so loud that you cannot hear each other when you're calling vocally for the ball. So you have to get some hand gestures or hand signals to communicate. And we had an awful lot of noise going on with that leadoff batter up there. That might have been the situation out there.
Well, it could have caused him not to hear who was calling for it, but their problem, Pete, was, and it's something you should work out on a play like that, who crosses in front, who crosses behind. They were afraid of getting run into each other.
Here's Kent Hrbek swinging and missing in an Avery fastball, 0-1. Hrbek 2 for 6 in the series. One of those 2 hits, a long upper deck home run. He was only 3 for 21 in the American League Championship Series. Normally, he hits 7th in the order against left-handers. 1-1 the count now as a breaking ball misses low.
And the chant is cheater, cheater. You recall he was involved in that play involving Ronnie Gann in Game 2.
Here's the wind by Avery and the 1-1 pitch. A let-up missing high and inside. 2-1 the count on Kent Hrbek. So one of the first pieces of juggling that Tom Kelly does with his batting order without the DH is taking Hrbek out of the 7-hole against lefties and putting him into the number 3 spot. Dropping Kirby Puckett to 4th. The next pitch to Hrbek, fastball inside. And it's 3-1 now, and the Twins' first baseman. During the regular season, 20 homers, 89 RBIs, and a .284 batting average. A run is in, 1 man out. Here's the wind, the 3-1 pitch on the way, and it's fouled right back our way. And we almost had ourselves a souvenir of the World Series. It hit the WSB sign.
You're the designated defensive player tonight.
Avery winding a 3-2 pitch on the way. A little check swing foul off the screen. And it remains full 3-2 on Kent Hrbek. Remember, no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a World Series. So the Braves don't want to get in any deep hole early. There's a bouncing ball out to short by Hrbek, fielded by Belliard. His throw on to first and plenty of time. 2 down. And with 2 men out and the bases empty, here comes Kirby Puckett. Puckett 0 for 8 in the World Series after being the MVP of the American League Championship Series, where he went 9 for 21 with a couple of homers and 6 runs driven in. And during that American League Championship Series, he was also held hitless in games 1 and 2 in that. So he's liable to catch fire at any time. A little right-hand hitter.
Braves have pitched him perfectly. They haven't given him a fastball up in the strike zone middle end to drive. He likes to hit it on the ground, and he's very aggressive. He can't lay off of off-speed stuff, especially if you get ahead.
Avery's first pitch to him. Fastball strike in the inside corner. 0-1. Kirby Puckett hitting some cannon shots during batting practice. A .319 regular season average with 15 homers and 89 runs driven in. The let-up is outside. 1-1 the count on Kirby Puckett. Now a 1-1 pitch on the way. And it caught the outside corner. Again, the changeup. 1-2. In Game 4 tomorrow night, John Smoltz against Jack Morris. If we go to a Game 5, Tom Glavine will get the start. Bobby Cox announcing that before the game tonight against Kevin Tapani. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. He tried to stop his swing, could not. Strike 3. Kirby Puckett is 0 for 9 in the World Series, but Minnesota gets a first inning run. 1 run, 1 hit, and nobody left at the end of a half inning from Atlanta. The Minnesota Twins won. The Atlanta Braves coming up.
I'm John Rooney with today's Car Care Quiz, brought to you by Slick 50. How old is the average car on the road today? The answer in a moment.
I see you're admiring that little 87 Sports Coupe over there, huh?
Yeah, I'd sure like to take her for a spin.
Yeah, she's a beaut, isn't she? Get a load of that Neo leather interior.
Yeah, it's great. Say, could we actually take her out for a spin?
No way.
Why not?
Obviously, you don't know much about car engines, do you?
Well,
When an engine's cold, all the oil's down in the pan. So when you start the engine, it's just metal to metal. Not a pretty picture, is it?
Oh, yeah, but...
You start the car, you damage the engine. Didn't you know that?
Well, I'm not going to buy a car I can't drive.
So you're saying if I let you damage this car, you're going to buy it? Is that right? Am I right? Am I right?
No, listen.
70 to 80% of engine wear occurs when you start your car's engine, but Slick 50's 1-quart, one-time formula lubricates and protects for more than 50,000 miles like no oil or additive can. Slick 50, the engine treatment.
Okay, I get it. You want to buy a damaged car. How about if I just grab this tire iron and get it?
No, wait. I'll take it.
Slick 50, the engine wear protector, because starting your engine is a terrible thing to do.
Slick 50 engine formula is available at Kmart and other retail and auto parts stores.
The average age of cars on the American highway is just under 8 years old and climbing. The reasons: today's cars are made better and lasting longer. Also, people are taking better care of their cars to protect their investment. Plus, new technologies have produced treatments and additives to prevent premature wear and tear. Make sure you like your next car purchase. It's likely to be around a long time. The Car Care Quiz is brought to you by Slick 50.
My dad had one. He was a really big four-wheeling kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of a daddy's girl. He'd take me fishing and hunting.
And now you drive a Jeep Wrangler, too?
Yeah.
So you're still kind of outdoorsy.
Well, I still hunt and fish.
You do?
Not quite the same way.
What do you mean?
Well, now I fish for compliments.
Okay.
Always hunting for men. Trust me, with the looks I get with this Wrangler, it is A1 perfect for the chase.
Jeep Wrangler, another advantage from your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
Hi, it's Wes Minter. Join me following Game 3 of the World Series and hopefully a Braves win. The hottest, coolest radio talk show in the night, right here on AM-750 WSB.
We go to the bottom half of the first inning. Defensively for Minnesota, the outfield has Dan Gladden in left, Kirby Puckett in center, Shane Mack in right. Around the infield, Scott Leyes at third, Greg Gagne at short, Chuck Knobloch at second, Ken Herbeck is the first baseman, the catcher Junior Ortiz, and on the mound, the man they call the Man in Black, Scott Erickson, who is 20-8 with a 3.18 earned run average during the regular season. Lonnie Smith, 0 for 6 in the series, awaits the first pitch from Erickson and takes a fastball inside, almost hit him, ball 1.
Erickson's delivery, Erickson's repertoire, very simple. Fastball, split finger slider, tries to pitch down with everything.
And a 1-0 pitch on the way, and there's a pitch down that Lonnie Smith swung and missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the key to beating Erickson is to lay off those pitches that are knee-high and lower. If you see something down there, take it and force him to get something up in the strike zone.
Very similar to Jack Morris.
Same scouting report.
Here's the 1-1. He laid off a low breaking ball, 2-1. On the days that Scott Erickson pitches, when he arrives at the ballpark, he is always wearing a black jacket, a black leather turtleneck, black jeans, black socks, black shoes. There's a strike in the inside corner to Lonnie Smith, 2-2.
And if you see him at the ballpark, you don't see any of the white long socks that players normally wear under their stirrups. His may be the ugliest socks in baseball.
Here are the 2-2 pitch to Lonnie Smith, driven just foul down the left field line. It's 1-0 Minnesota. The Twins getting a gift run, really, in the top half of the first. As Gadd and Justice miscommunicated on a fly ball to right center that went for a triple for Dan Gladden. He scored a Knobloch sacrifice fly. Lonnie just 6 for 30 in postseason play. Here's the 2-2 on the way, and it's high and inside, ball 3. Full count, 3-2.
If you're patient with Erickson, Pete, he will walk some people. He averaged about 3 per 9 innings. That was his undoing in the American League Championship Series.
The next pitch to Lonnie, strike 3, called in the outside corner at the knees. Erickson strikes out Lonnie Smith. And And one man is out in the bottom half of the first inning. Here's Terry Pendleton. When you look at the Atlanta Braves lineup tonight, there are 4 guys whose bats need to come to life. At least 2 or 3 of those 4 need to. Lonnie Smith struggling. Terry Pendleton just 7 for 38 in postseason play. David Justice just 7 for 31. And Sid Bream just 4 for 18. Pendleton batting left-handed, takes the pitch high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Junior Ortiz, who always catches Erickson, gives the sign, the pitch on the way. And there's a line drive to right field, coming hard. Shane Mack, and he makes a nice running catch. Terry Pendleton hit that ball hard. But Shane Mack was able to run it down, and very quickly 2 are out here in the bottom half of the first inning, bringing up Ronnie Gant. Junior Ortiz out to the mound. He and Erickson will have a conversation here. Pendleton really got a pitch to hit there, and he hit it hard.
And Terry is a guy who can do some damage to a person like Erickson because he likes the ball down. Looks like he's moved a little bit closer to the plate, Pete, with that back foot. He's still got the open stance, but it's a little more like Justice now. Not on top of it, but a little bit closer.
Ronnie Gant, 4 for 8 in the World Series with a couple of RBIs. He set the record in the National League Championship Series when he stole 7 bases. Erickson's first pitch taken at the knees for a strike, 0-1. 2 men out, base is empty, 1-0 Twins. We're in the first. Now the wind and the 0-1 on the way. A let up, missing low. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ronnie Gant, who may have the second ugliest pair of socks in Major League Baseball.
Well, he adds to his. He has those Grandma Spatz shoes that come up to cover the ankles.
Here's the 1-1 on the way, outside. 2 balls and a strike now on Ronnie Gant.
It's amazing how stuff like that happens. You know, kids in college and in high school watch the big leaguers, how they do it, then they follow it. But I think this started and worked its way up through the minor league system.
Now a 2-1 pitch on the way to Gant. Ground ball left side, deep short, backhanded by Gagne. Long throw to first. It's in time for out number 3. Greg Gagne with the defensive gem, and we have seen plenty of those on both sides in this series thus far. Erickson gets the Braves 1-2-3 at the end of 1 in Game 3. It's Minnesota 1, Atlanta 0.
So you love the new place, but it doesn't come with appliances. Well, no problem. Sears Brand Central has a GE washer for $377 and matching dryer just $277. GE, good name brand. And this is the lowest Sears has ever sold them for. But it's just till Saturday. So hasten, if you will, to Sears Brand Central, the brands you want at the store you trust. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico.
Texaco Technology Report. The problem. As cars get older, they may need higher octane to perform like they used to. The Texaco solution: develop a patented octane control technology in System 3 gasoline to help control increased octane appetite while cleaning an engine and to perform in every single octane grade. Texaco System 3 gasoline. It's that good.
It's a hectic day, and you've got overnight packages to get out.
We deliver.
Well, don't put on your coat. Grab the phone. Call Express Mail Service, and we'll pick them up for you.
We deliver.
You heard right. Express Mail Service from your post office picks up your prepaid packages. Just call 1-800-333-8777 and leave the rest to us. It costs only $4.50 per pickup, no matter how many packages you send. And we assure next morning delivery. Express Mail Service, just $9.95 for up to 8 ounces. Call for a pickup today.
We're the postal service. We deliver for you.
Sponsored by your Postal Service.
The United States Postal Service congratulates the Atlanta Braves on winning the 1991 National League Championship.
You're never more than 6 minutes away from weather and traffic on Atlanta's Morning News. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
1-0 Minnesota. We move to the top half of inning 2. Shane Mack, 0 for 7 in the series, will lead it off. The right fielder will be followed by Scott Elias, the hero from Game 2, and then Greg Gagne. Steve Avery surrendering his first run of postseason, a tainted run, but it's given Minnesota the early lead. His pitch on the way to Shane Mack, a check swing foul up into the seats off to the right. 0-1. Mack during the regular season, 310, 18 homers, 74 runs driven in. This is a very good offensive ball club.
It's also a pretty good breaking ball hitting club, Pete. We haven't seen too many guys, except on first pitch and 3-1, have good cuts at fastball.
There's the 0-1 breaking ball, hit foul, pulling that one.
See, in the American League, you either learn to hit a 2-0 slider, a 3-1 slider, or a 2-0 changeup, or you're very quickly out of there. That's the difference in the two leagues. In the National League 2-0, you can look for a fastball outer half of the plate. Pitcher will try to make you put it in play, but not so in the American League.
Here's the 0-2 to Shane Mack. Strike three called. Fastball frozen. It was right down the middle at the knees, and Avery has his second strikeout. One gone top of the second. Now Scott Elias, 2 for 5 in the World Series, but one of those hits a game-winning homer off Tom Glavine in Game 2. Elias, a right-hand batter. He platoons at third with Mike Pagliarulo. And Avery's first pitch on the way to him. It's upstairs for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 Minnesota, top half of inning 2. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, and the count even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ron Gardenhire coaching at third. And a man who's been around Major League Baseball since the late 40s, Wayne Terwilliger.
I saw him manage in Pensacola in 1962.
There's the 1-1 on the way, foul back. It's 1-2 now on Scott Elias.
He won the Alabama-Florida League with the Pensacola Senators.
One man out, base is empty. Outfield, shading Elias as an off-field hitter. Center fielder Ronnie Gatt played him toward right center. The line by Avery, the 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball missed low and inside. 2-2. Greg Gagne waiting in the on-deck circle. Difference in this series really has been in the power area. 4 home runs have been hit in the World Series, all 4 by the Minnesota Twins. Now a 2-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at the let-up, strike 3. And Avery has struck out his 3rd man of the night and appears to be getting into that groove again.
Well, Pete, American League hitters for the most part are not used to looking at fastball changeup pitchers. They're used to looking at sinker slider pitchers. If you made a prototype of an American League pitcher, it would be somebody like an Erickson. They're starting to learn that split finger, but to go hard and then soft with the pitches, that's something they're not used to.
Greg Gagne, 2 for 6 in the series. One of those 2 hits a 3-run homer. And Avery's first pitch on the way, taken for a strike in the inside corner with a fastball. You often have made the comment in this series that scouting reports should try to compare a player to another player in your own league. First the 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball, 0-2. Avery could strike out the side. The Twins did that with Steve Avery. Their scouting report said, just like Jim Abbott of the California Angels.
See, I think that's a successful way because it gives you a mental picture, not a bunch of words. Ted Simmons was the first guy that ever I heard do that.
Crowd on its feet as Avery's 0-2 is on the way, and it's fouled back out of play. It remains 0-2 on Greg Gagne.
He has one thing Jim Abbott doesn't have, that's the changeup. Abbott has a good breaking stuff, good lively fastball, but he hasn't quite mastered the off-speed pitch. This kid, I think Avery was born with a changeup.
Another 0-2 pitch on the way to Gagne. He pops this one foul over toward the Twins on-deck circle. Greg Olson with plenty of room. He's got it, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Steve Avery. Nothing doing for the Twins in the second at the end of an inning and a half from Atlanta in Game 3. It's Minnesota 1, the Braves nothing.
Harry, what are you doing?
I'm hooking up our new phone system. You know, we're a small business and we gotta save money.
I don't think that's how it's usually done.
Don't worry. I know all about hooking things up, and I'm saving us a fortune.
I told you. We could have gotten an AT&T phone system. They would have hooked us up for free.
AT&T announces the AT&T Small Business Hookup. Now when you buy or lease an AT&T Small Business phone system, we'll install it for free. We'll put in the control unit, phone sets, and accessories. Do all the programming and testing, even the training, all for free. You only pay for equipment and wiring, so you save hundreds, even thousands. Just call 1-800-222-HOOKUP. That's 1-800-222-HOOKUP.
Harry, I don't think you should hook that up that way.
Stop worrying. It's just like a VCR.
AT&T's free phone system installation offer ends November 30th. For details, call 1-800-222-HOOKUP.
If you're looking for a way to beat those old car blues, your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
The Isuzu for You sale is the right time for year-end savings on selected 91 Isuzu cars, trucks, and sport utility vehicles, like the rugged and roomy Isuzu Trooper. Year-end priced at up to $1,800 off. Save even more on special end-of-the-year Trooper value packages at participating dealers.
The right Isuzu for you.
With its great performance, toughness, standard four-wheel drive with auto-locking hubs, incredible cargo space, and wide-opening double cargo doors, the Isuzu Trooper is the right Isuzu for you. See your Isuzu dealer today and save up to $1,800 on a Trooper now. It's the right Isuzu at the right price. But hurry, the Isuzu for You sale ends soon.
Impulse stylish pickup trooper, rodeos too. Your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Based on factory to dealer incentives, which may vary by model. Actual prices will vary. See dealer for details.
Start your morning with Atlanta's morning news, weather, traffic reports, highlights from Game 3, and a preview of Game 4 of the World Series tomorrow morning, AM-750 WSB.
It's 1-0 Minnesota as we go to the bottom half of inning 2. David Justice, Sid Bream, and Greg Olson do up against Scott Erickson. Justice would like to get it going for a couple of reasons. Number one, the Braves haven't scored much in postseason. And number two, right now, David Justice postseason would be remembered for a lot of negative things that have happened. A bad throw in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, missing third base in Game 5 of that same series, and then his defensive mistakes with Lemke and Gant so far in the World Series. A lot of that could be forgotten if he could get the bat going. He is 2 for 6 so far in the World Series. No RBIs, though. Takes a strike in the outside corner, 0-1.
And what the Twins have done with him is throwing breaking stuff down and in, not in the hitting area. If they give him a fastball, it's been outer half above the belt, they'll give him left field.
Now the 0-1 pitch on the way to Justice. Fastball low for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And when they compared David Justice, they compared him to Don Mattingly, who can kill you if he misses inside, but really doesn't drive the ball over the left fielder's head.
Erickson winding in the 1-1 on the way. Bouncing ball down the first base side, foul. And it goes to 1-2 now on David Justice. Outfield swung way around toward right. You got to remember, too, that part of the scouting report put together by the Minnesota Twins was compiled by a former Braves manager, Russ Nixon, who now works in the Twins organization. So he knows a little bit more than most scouts would about some of these guys. Swing and a miss by Justice, strike 3. That is strikeout number 2 for Erickson, who's retired 4 in a row now, and Sid Bream will be next.
I think it's a good idea having a manager's eye view of a scouting report. A lot of scouts, and not to take anything away from him, you couldn't have baseball without it, but a lot of scouts look for tendencies, they look for certain things that maybe a manager wouldn't look. They can look for the individual things, but a manager can blend it together.
Here's Bream, who's 1 for 8 in the World Series, 4 for 18 in postseason play. Erickson winds. The pitch on the way to Bream is high, ball 1. It is 1-0, and we're getting the Sid chant reverberating around the ballpark again. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Over but low, ball 2. 2-0, the count on Sid Bream.
He was out early today taking some extra batting practice and working with Clarence Jones.
Now a 2-0 pitch coming, and Bream swings and hits one foul off the end of the bat down the third base side. It's 2-1. Jimmy Williams coaching third, Pat Corrales at first. The look in by Erickson. The right-hander winds. And the 2-1 pitch on the way. Line drive caught by Herbeck, who was down on both knees to make the catch for out number 2. And that's 5 in a row retired now by Scott Erickson. And Greg Olson will be next. Olson has been the Braves' offensive hero in the postseason. He has 10 hits and 31 at-bats, 2 for 7 in World Series play. And nobody is enjoying being in the playoffs in World Series more than Greg Olson. Erickson winds and deals, and Olson takes inside, ball 1. Erickson 6'4", 225 out of Long Beach, California. This is only his 3rd season in professional baseball. The next pitch low, it's 2-0. He was promoted midway through last season from Double-A ball and never had to go back to the minors. 8-4 last year, 20-8 this year. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Olson. Taken outside, ball 3, 3-0. Erickson out of the University of Arizona. A quick worker. Here's the 3-0 pitch on the way to Olson. He walked him on 4 straight, missing high with the 3-0 pitch. And the Braves have their first base runner, a 2-out walk to Olson. Here in the bottom half of the second, here's Mark Lemke. Lemke 0 for 3 in the World Series. And the Tomahawks are out here in Atlanta.
And Olson is the first guy that's made him throw a...
2 men out, a runner first. Erickson comes set, the pitch on the way. Hit foul off to the right by Lemke, and Erickson quickly ahead in the count 0-2. I'll tell you what, he does not come to much of a pause out there in his stretch.
No, we need Bob Davidson here, National League umpire, to bring that to a stop. But I think when it's consistent, when you do it over and over, they look at that, Pete, more than the actual time that you are paused.
He is ready quickly. The stretch in the 0-2 pitch. High and outside, 1-2. This game, most postseason games seem to take a little bit longer than regular season games. This one might not. You've got Avery and Erickson out there, both very good pitchers. Both of them work very quickly. Here's the stretch, the look toward first, the 1-2 pitch on the way. A little dribbler foul off the end of the bat off to the left. A ball and 2 strikes. The count remains on Mark Lemke. 1-0 Twins, bottom half of the second, 2 men out. Olson the runner at first. Erickson has his sign from Ortiz. Here's the stretch and the 1-2 pitch. And that's low and inside. 2-2. Rafael Belliard in the on-deck circle. Olson getting a small lead at first. Here's the stretch, the 2-2 pitch, line drive, right field. That'll fall in for a base hit. Olson will have to stop at second, though, as Shane Mack, who has a good arm, quickly gets to that ball and gets it back to the infield. And runners are at first and second with 2 down, as Lemke has his first World Series hit, and the first hit ever by an Atlanta Brave in the World Series.
Got a pitch up in the strike zone. Lemke chased one down low. But with a guy like Erickson, if you get one of those, you can't miss it. He got one and he didn't miss it.
Now Rafael Belliard. Belliard 1 for 3 in the World Series. Batting with runners first and second, 2 down. Erickson comes set, and the pitch on the way to Belliard. He takes a breaking ball strike in the outside corner at the knees, 0-1. Our compliments to Ed Mangan and the ground crew. This field is in remarkable shape. And those World Series logos look good in foul territory at third and first. Next pitch to Belliard, fouled off to the left rather. It's 0-2. Two men out. Lemke at first, Olson at second, but Belliard in an 0-2 hole right now to Scott Erickson.
I wouldn't expect Jimmy Williams to send him on anything hit to right field, but to left or to center, yes, they'll probably take a shot at having Olson score.
Erickson comes set, the 0-2 pitch to Belliard. He swings and just got a piece of that one. He chased one out of the strike zone high and away and just got a little piece of that ball, fouling it back to the screen. So it remains 0-2. Outfield shallow, shaded toward right. That's the way most National League clubs played Belliard. Although the second half of the year, he did show that he can pull a pitch. Here's the stretch, the pitch on the way. It's high and outside. Erickson tried to get him to chase the same thing he chased the pitch earlier. He wouldn't this time. It's 1-2. Lemke off first, Olsen off second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Low and inside, almost hit him. 2-2. The pitcher, Steve Avery, on deck. The runners lead from first and second. The stretch and the 2-2 pitch. Ground ball left side into left field. Base hit. Olsen being waved around third. Gladden firing home. There'll be a play at the plate. Olsen slides in safely. Ball gets by Ortiz. Erickson backing up. The runners are at second and third. The game is tied as Rafael Belliard delivers a two-out run-scoring single. Gladden's throw home got by Ortiz. Belliard winds up at second. Lemke winds up at third. We are tied at 1. So the Braves have gotten the run back. And this crowd really getting into it now with the tomahawk chop and the chant. Here's pitcher Steve Avery. Good hitting pitcher. Runners second and third. The stretch and the pitch. Avery swings and misses. 0-1. Waiting to see if they are charging an error or just saying that both runners moved up on the throw home. No error has been posted yet. I don't think one will. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Bouncing ball to the right side. Second baseman Knobloch has it. Throws on to first. In time. His throw almost got by Urbeck. But the Braves have tied it up here in the second. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 men left. After 2 in game 3, we're all tied up. The Twins won and the Braves won.
The Atlanta Coca-Cola became the feeling that things would start to change in just a while. But who would have thought that Glavine would have the season he's having? And down at the launching pad, baseball was back in style. I'm talking baseball. Justice and Cabrera talking baseball. Terry, what a fella. Can't and breathe with pain, you're getting the save. And soon the tomahawk became the rage. I'm talking baseball. Baseball and the Braves.
Congratulations, Braves, on capturing the National League pennant. And from the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company and all of Georgia, best.
It must be tough to hang on to a bull like Avalanche when it's this icy.
Yeah, but these Velcro mittens really help.
And the competition looks pretty tough.
Yeah, now the Delta slides here. Ski cowboys are coming in from all over. Europe, Canada, even the Far East.
Well, with Delta and the Delta Connection flying to more than 300 cities worldwide on over 4,800 flights a day, I can see why.
The more places Delta flies, the harder it is to keep my title. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta go sharpen the spurs on my ski boots for the next event.
If you've seen all the sweatshirts and the hats and the T-shirts that go with the year that the Braves have had and wonder where you can pick them up, well, all the championship merchandise is at the Braves Clubhouse store at CNN Center. Store will have extended hours all through the World Series, so stop by and have a look. Pete, I was there today, and the line at the checkout counter went all the way out into the atrium in the center.
Everybody trying to get something to remember this remarkable season with. It's a 1-1 game. We're going to the third. Junior Ortiz, the catcher, will lead it off. Ortiz only hit .209 this year with 11 RBIs. Last year, as a backup catcher with Minnesota, he hit .335. He's a right-hand batter, used to play with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the New York Mets. And the first pitch to him from Avery is popped high in the air, shallow left field. Belliard back about 3 steps in the grass, now comes in right to the edge of the grass, makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out in the third. And now Scott Erickson gets to do something he's never done before in the major leagues. Swing a bat in a game. The Twins worked out here yesterday, and all of their pitchers took batting practice, and Erickson drove 1 pitch over the center field wall, but that was batting practice. This is Steve Avery. And the first pitch to Erickson, swing and a miss, 0-1.
And I like the way Avery approached pitching to a pitcher who's never hit before. It goes right after him with a belt-high fastball.
Now the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss with another one. Strike 2. Gladden on deck.
Now a couple of options. Throw him the curveball or make him chase one up the ladder.
Here's the 0-2 pitch on the way. He went right with a fastball and got him on 3 pitches, swinging. 4th strikeout for Avery, who is really in the same groove he was in both of those games against Pittsburgh. He really should not have given up anything to this point. The ball hit by Dan Gladden in the first inning should have been caught by either Gant or Justice. They miscommunicated. The ball fell for a triple, and Gladden wound up scoring.
15 years from now, Pete, you and I are going to look back and say that we were glad we were here and watching this, because barring an injury and some misfortune, and I know right now everybody can say, yeah, sure, you jump on the bandwagon, but you and I saw him in March of 1989 in a spring training game down on a backfield at West Palm Beach, and both of us just kind of stared at each other, and I think there is a potential of a legend in the making.
The legend is being made in 1 year if he keeps this up. 2 men out, base is empty. Gladden the hitter. He had a little trouble getting the donut off his bat, so he's just now stepping in. We are tied at 1. 1 run, 1 hit for the Twins. 1 run, 2 hits for Atlanta. And Avery's pitch on the way to Gladden. Swing and a miss and a high fastball. Nothing in 1. Since that tainted triple in the first inning, Avery has retired 8 in a row, striking out 4. Here's the 0-1. Little check swing fly ball down the right field line, landing just foul. And Harry Wendelstedt, who was the umpire down the right field line, was right on top of that one. It's 0-2.
People might wonder why, when we introduced the umpires, there were 6. In a game of the magnitude of the League Championship Series or World Series, for a long time, they've gone with the extra umpire down the right field line, just in case there's a Carlton Fisk-type homer, and also one down the left field line.
Nothing in 2. The count on Gladden. 2 outs, base is empty in a 1-1 game. Avery winds, and the 0-2 pitch. A let up outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Keep in mind that with Drew Coble, the home plate umpire, you talked about the different ways that National League pitchers pitch. American League umpires not that familiar with that style of pitching either. Swing and a miss and a fastball, strike 3. Avery gets Gladden swinging. He has 5 strikeouts in the first 3 innings, and 9 in a row have been set down by 21-year-old Steve Avery. We go to the bottom half of the 3rd in Game 3. It's Atlanta 1, Minnesota 1.
Tell me, sir, how do you think
the 3rd, Lonnie Smith will lead it off for the Braves, and once again, take you the next piece of the show. Here's Dave O'Brien.
All right, thank you very much, Don. Well done, you and Pete. Good to be tied up. Here's the first pitch to Smith. He fouls it away at the plate for strike 1. Lonnie Fan looking to start the game for Atlanta. That was in the first inning. For the series, he's 0 for 7, so he needs a hit here. Terry Pendleton on deck, then Ronnie Gant. Erickson into the wind, and his pitch is downstairs. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a run, 2 hits, no errors for the Braves. 1-1-0. For the American League champion Minnesota Twins. The Braves have never led in this World Series. This would be a good inning to start. Here's the pitch. It's fouled away. Count moves to 1-2. Lonnie has scored just 4 runs in the playoffs. You need your leadoff man to get on and cross the plate. The 1-2. Held his swing. It was down low. And the count is 2-2. In 9 games, Lonnie has failed to get a hit 6 times. He's got to do better than that. This one misses down and in, and the count moves to 3-2. It all starts with a base runner. The right-hander's 3-2 pitch. A ground ball foul off the third base line.
You've had a couple of years of doing this now, but all of our work has been in the National League. Have you seen anybody that works any quicker than Erickson? Definite advantage to the pitcher. It's hard to settle in as a hitter, and what you're going to see the Braves do a little bit more, as Lonnie Smith is doing right now, Dave, is to back out of there and force him to get out of his rhythm.
In our league, I think the only guy who works this fast is Tom Browning of the Reds.
You got it. That's a good one.
He's the only one who works with so little time between pitches. The umpire barely gets set, and he's into his windup. Here's the 3-2 to Smith. Pops a high fly ball down the right field line. Mack going into the corner. He into the bullpen, reaches up and makes a fine catch. Shane Mack reaching over the fence that's surrounding the bullpen and taking away another at-bat for Lonnie Smith, who is now 0 for 8. That was an outstanding play in foul ground. Of course, he's not going to get any help over there.
As a matter of fact, the bullpen was probably yelling, "You're all right, you're all right."
Yeah. Just look out for that fence. Here's Terry Pendleton, who's flied out to right, 0 for 1, batting left-handed. And the first pitch misses high for a ball. Terry for the season hit .319, but in this World Series only .222, and in the National League Championship Series only about $170. Been rough going for the MVP candidate. The pitch. Here's a bouncing ball. He jammed him. It's out to second. In comes Knobloch to field and throw him out, and there are 2 down. So Terry Pendleton's difficulties continue in the postseason. He's now 7 out of 39. The top of the order so far, 1, 2, and 3 in the Atlanta batting order tonight. A combined 0 for 5. But it is a tie game, 1-1 in the third inning, and Ronnie Gant stepping in. He's tapped out to short, 0 for 1. And the pitch. A little bit outside for ball 1. Ronnie is having a very good postseason. 4 for 9 in the series. That's a .444 clip. The pitch way outside. 2-0. And he's 11 for 36 overall with 7 stolen bases. He's got more hits, more steals than any Brave in the playoffs. Here's the wind and the 2-0 pitch. That's low. 3-0. David Justice on deck. World Series game number 3. The first World Series game in the history of Atlanta. The 3-0 pitch. A strike catching the outside corner. Three balls, 1 strike. Bases empty, 2 out. Last of the third inning. Braves 1, Minnesota 1. Erickson gets his sign, and his 3-1 pitch is popped up. Short center. That might be trouble. Coming on is Mack. He's going to get there and make the play. He's got fine speed, and he had to because Puckett was playing very, very deep and shaded around toward left. Nothing doing in the third. We move on to the fourth. Braves 1 and the Twins 1.
Jerry.
Yeah?
It's your conscience.
Oh, no, not now.
Gee, this place is a mess, and so is this balance sheet.
Look, I'm trying to study my cash flow, all
well,
right?
I can tell you right now, you're paying out too much for other people's dishonesty.
What?
Don't you realize when people cheat on insurance claims, you pay the price in higher premiums?
Wait, why should I have to pay?
Good question, Jerry.
With the right insurance...
Series game number 3. Dave O'Brien, Don Sutton, Pete Van Wieren, and Skip Carey, the 4 Musketeers with you tonight. One of those nights, Don, where if you're going to read, you don't need lights. You can read by the glow of the moon.
It's a beautiful evening, and Avery, with a little help, could salt this one away for the Braves.
He has struck out 5. Hard grounder on the first swing by Knobloch, right at Pendleton. And he throws him out to start the 4th inning. Chuck Knobloch swinging at the very first pitch, but right at TP. And 1 man is out in the 4th inning for Ken Herbeck, the house villain.
There's a sign down below us that says Hulk Herbeck, and on his stump, he fell off the bag.
He's 0 for 1 in the game, having grounded out to short with some help from the fans. On the first pitch, he swings. It's a high fly ball, mile in the air to center, but a lazy fly for Ronnie Gant, who waits and puts it away. Boy, when the crowd sees Herbeck coming, they are ready to roar. And when he does something wrong, which is making out, they roar louder. That's the added drama in the World Series, the Ken Herbeck tale. Here's Kirby Puckett, who struck out in the first inning, 0 for 1. Avery's first pitch on the way. Right down the middle for called strike 1. Avery has been dynamite again, but you have come to expect nothing but a masterpiece from this kid. The pitch. There's a looping line drive to right, might fall in. Justice on the way, dives. He made the catch. No! Did he make the catch in time? Yes, he did. He made a terrific play. David Justice with a great sliding catch for the out. Puts it away, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. He bobbled it at the end, but held on. We move on to the last of the fourth, all tied at 1.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Hunter with the United Airlines City Salute. It was an 80-year-old chapter closed for the Chicago White Sox when the old Comiskey Park closed on September 30th, 1990. 42,849 fans watched as the Sox beat the Mariners 2-1 in the final game at the historic park. The old Comiskey was the site of many memorable moments, including the Go-Go Sox American League pennant of 1959. United Airlines, proud to be the official airline of Major League Baseball and proud to be Chicago's hometown airline. Come fly the airline that's uniting the world. Come fly the friendly skies.
These days, Europe starts at 35,000 feet. Straight up. That's cruising altitude across the Atlantic on United Airlines. And that's when we break out the best. In first-class Dom Perignon champagne. And along with it, Beluga caviar. After your gourmet dinner, we'll even serve you Godiva chocolates. And because we know how very busy you're going to be in Europe, we suggest you get a real good rest on fully reclining first-class seats that let you put your head all the way back and your feet all the way up. So relax and enjoy it. You're flying the new Atlantic Crossing. First class, business class, however you go. You're going in style on the airline that's uniting the world. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
United now serves London, Paris, Frankfurt, Munich, Hamburg, Berlin, Amsterdam, Brussels, and Madrid. Call your travel agent or United for reservations.
Check out these specs. 4 channels, amplifier, subwoofer, beta input transistors for clarity, loads of volume, plus terrific bass response.
Sounds pretty good.
Are you kidding? It sounds awesome. Listen.
Introducing Odyssey, the new automotive sound barrier breakthrough from Delco Electronics. Available only on Chevy Cavaliers and S10 trucks, and on Geostorms, tractors, and Metros. You won't just hear it. You'll feel it. Sound the town!
It's the Senate Judiciary Committee of Radio, the Gary McKee Hometown Radio Show, 4 to 7 afternoons on AM-750 WSB.
Braves and Twins in a 1-1 knot as we take you to the last half of the fourth inning. David Justice will start it against Scott Erickson, who winds and deals and leaves it low and away for ball 1. Don, it might not take more than another run to get Steve Avery this win.
Well, Dave, growing up in the South, we used to do a lot of coon hunting, fox hunting, possum hunting, and there used to be a saying, first the pitch.
The wind and the 1-0 is outside 2-0.
When the hunt was over, you just call in the dogs and or the coffee on the fire, and that was about it. This night would be over.
Yeah, we used to say that growing up in New England, too. Yeah?
I had a feeling you did.
Something close to that. The 2-0 pitch is fouled away by David, who made a terrific play, sliding to end the top half of the inning. Taking away a base hit from Kirby Puckett, who is 0 for 10 in the series. There's a story developing there as well. David 2 for 7. In his first World Series. And the way things are going for the Atlanta Braves and the look of the future, it will not be his last. Sid Bream on deck. A 1-1 tie. Here comes the pitch. That's taken just outside. A little low, 3-1 the count. David, like Terry Pendleton and Lonnie Smith, needs to start swinging a bat. And swinging it better. He's only 2 for his last 21 in the playoffs. The pitch hit high and deep to right. Mack going back to the wall. It is gone.
The first pitch David Justice has had on the inner half of the plate, hittable the whole series, and his being selective and not chasing Erickson's pitch got him the 3-1 count, got him the strike.
And just got him a curtain call. Sid Bream swings and fouls the first one away. for strike one and Don. That is also the first lead the Braves have had in the World Series with Steve Avery on the mound. Again,
I hear him calling in the dog.
Yeah. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled away off the end of Bream's bat, and it's 0-2. Atlanta leads it 2-1. David Justice with a line drive homer, sneaking over that yellow line atop the right field fence. Feels good to say Braves on top. The kick and the 0-2 pitch. There's a high fly ball again, deep right. Mack going back. Is it out of here? No, it's off the wall. Bream is on his way to 2. He's got himself a walk-in double. Bream came within about 4 feet of making it back-to-back home runs. He's on second with a double. Let's pause right now for station ID. You're listening to Braves baseball on AM-750 WSB.
Atlanta's Hall of Fame dealer, Southern Lincoln Mercury, says thank you for a year we'll never forget. That's Southern Lincoln Mercury, 2 miles inside I-285 on Highway 78 in Decatur. Southern Lincoln Mercury says go Braves. AM-750 WSB Atlanta.
2 swings of the bat. The Braves have doubled their extra base total of the series.
The pitch to Greg Olson is a little high for ball 1. A home run and a double to start off the 4th inning, and the crowd is chopping and chanting. The set by Erickson, the look back in the pitch. That's taken low, and it's 2-0. And activity now in the Minnesota bullpen. They have a lefty up and throwing. The 20-game winner pitches. There's a high chop deep short. Gagne has to wait. Fields throws, and he got him. Oh, very close. Bang, bang play there at first, but Greg Olson is banged out by Terry Tata, and a terrific throw by Greg Gagne from shallow left.
And Olson, had he been a more selfish hitter, might have gotten him a base hit on that pitch, but he had a pitch he was actually trying to hit to the right side, and it came in on him just a little bit. That was a pitch Greg normally would have pulled.
1 down now. And the batter is Mark Lemke. Swings and bounces one to the right side hole. Diving stop by Herbeck. He throws to the pitcher, covering at first to get Lemke. On to third goes Sid Bream. Mark Lemke, had he hit it with a little more punch, would have had himself an RBI single. As it is, he gets the runner over. And the batter is Rafael Belliard. And in the Minnesota bullpen, David West is loosening up. 2 men are out. Braves have grabbed the lead 2-1. It is the crucial game of the 91 World Series, and Atlanta is at last in front. The pitch to Belliard. Taking high ball 1. Give credit to Ken Herbeck making a fine diving stop over there in the hole. The first baseman coming off the bag. He's a big guy, about 250 pounds. But he's a good first baseman. There's a hard grounder to second, fielded by Knobloch. He'll throw to first to get the out, and the inning is over. But a big one for the Braves. David Justice homers. Sid Bream doubles. And after 4 in Atlanta, it's the Braves on top. 2-1.
Hello again, everybody. This is Skip Carey in the Georgia home of Niles Collins. Niles, it's as hot as the dickens in here.
Yes, well, come midsummer, it gets this way.
Folks, Niles' home is unusual because it gets so hot and steamy that, well, it's like a jungle in here.
Yes, the experts tell me the foliage and animals you see here resemble those found in an Amazon rainforest.
Amazing.
Some mornings I need a machete just to get to the bathroom.
What's that?
Oh, a toucan on my car, whatever.
Have you tried turning on your air conditioning?
Oh, it is on. Care for a glass of ice rainwater?
No, thanks. You know, Niles, if you had all the double-pane windows and extra insulation of a Good Sense home, all your air conditioning wouldn't be escaping. And in the meantime, you'd be saving 10, 20, up to 30% on your utility bill.
I guess I'd consider it. This place does have its advantages, though.
Such as? What was that?
Security system. Save up to 30% on your utility bills with a Good Sense home. For more information, call your local Georgia Power office.
Okay, it's quitting time and you are out of there.
We deliver, we deliver.
Nothing is going to slow you down, least of all express mail overnight delivery service from your post office. Your express mail drop box is just a few steps away, with pickup times posted on each box. Drop in your prepaid package and overnight letters, and you're all done. We'll take it from there. With express mail service, you can count on next morning delivery. Send up to 8 ounces for just $9.95. So you can figure that package will be arriving before you start thinking about what's for lunch.
We deliver for you.
Sponsored by your Postal Service.
The United States Postal Service congratulates the Atlanta Braves on winning the 1991 National League Championship.
Hi, it's Wes Minner inviting you to stick around for opinions from people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. It's the hottest, coolest radio talk show on issues in the night. And it follows the game here on AM-750 WSB.
We are cruising along here on this October night in Atlanta. Dave O'Brien, Don Sutton with you. Atlanta leads 2-1 over Minnesota. Steve Avery has really been zipping, Don. He's in that same groove we saw him in Pittsburgh and here in Atlanta against the Pirates.
Well, he set down 11 in a row. The last inning, he only used 4 pitches to get 3 outs, and he's pitching against the Twins like you have to. If you walk them, if you give them the extra base runners, they'll beat you to death.
Shane Mack leads it off, struck out his first time and rips a high fly ball deep to right. Justice going back, says he has it, and shy of the track, reaches up and makes the catch. Nice play by David. Full speed all the way back, just short of the track. And he let everybody in the ballpark know he had that well before he caught it. And Shane Mack is now 0 for 9 in the series, and Don, between he and Kirby Puckett, they're 0 for 19 in the World Series.
Well, those are the 2 guys in the lineup that the Braves pitchers have followed the scouting report to a T. They haven't made a mistake. Those 2 guys haven't had a pitch to hit yet.
Here's Scott Leyes, who struck out his first time, and the pitch to him is in for a called strike at the knees. 0-1. Avery like a machine, punching that first one in, getting ahead in the count, and then dominating the hitter from there with his variety of 3 pitches. The 0-1 in for a strike. It's 0-2.
When you come out of a league that's basically sinker slider pitchers, it's unusual to see, and especially a left-hander, pop you inside, belt high on the corner. If you're looking for it, that's a pretty good hitter's pitch, but these guys haven't seen a left-hander in the league who pitches like that.
Avery gets his sign from Olson. Winds in the 0-2 pitch. A low. He wouldn't bid for it. It's 1-2. 1 down, the base is empty. Braves 2, the Twins 1. Atlanta has out-hit Minnesota 4-1. Justice has homered. Maybe that's a good sign for the offense. The 1-2 pitch. Checked his swing. It was down and in. 2-2. That was a tough pitch, even though Leyes did not swing. He's one of 5 strikeout victims for Steve Avery. He's trying to make it a half dozen. He kicks in the 2-2 pitch. There's a pop fly, back of second, drifting out Lemke in short right, makes the catch.
There was that fastball again, even though he had seen it twice, Dave, for strikes on the inside corner. Avery 0-2 had thrown the changeup, and I'll bet you that's what their hitters are keying off of, the off-speed pitch. So after showing the changeup, putting that in his mind, bingo, the fastball right on the hands again.
He faces Greg Gagne. Avery has now set down 13 consecutive hitters. Gagne 0 for 1. He's popped to the catcher. Swings at a high fastball and comes up empty. 0-1. Going back to 1987, Gagne has hit safely in 6 straight World Series games. Avery trying to hold him off. The 0-1 pitch. There's a bouncing ball out to short. Gobbled up by Belliard. Throws and gets him. Another 1-2-3 inning. The 4th in a row for Steve Avery. The kid is mowing him down. Through 4.5 in Atlanta. Braves on top 2-1.
What are you doing out here so late?
Just adding a bottle of Berryman Gas Blast Octane Booster to my tank.
Can't wait till morning?
Nope. Tomorrow's the first day on the new job. Don't want to be late.
I don't think Berryman Gas Blast is going to help.
Sure it will. Gas Blast fires up all grades of gasoline for easier starts, better mileage, and more power.
Berryman Gas Blast is great stuff, but it won't help you.
Why not?
You were supposed to start work yesterday.
Oh.
That power that runs clean.
Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. They were perhaps the most awesome lineup ever assembled. Stand by to face Murderers Row.
What's an Army Cavalry Scout exercise like? Hold on. When you're tracking an armor force, you follow the signs. Like these fresh tracks. Likely river crossings. Shh. Listen. Hear them? Here come their scout vehicles and their armor force. Mount up. We'll call in some firepower.
Be all that you can be.
Paid for by the U.S. Army.
The 1927 New York Yankees were led by newcomer Lou Gehrig and the immortal Babe Ruth, who blasted a record 60 home runs. The starting 8 had a collective batting average of .327 and averaged 98 RBIs. Murderers Row, as they were called, ran away with a pennant and then swept the Pirates. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. I'm Jerry Coleman.
Nobody delivers Atlanta's morning news like AM-750 WSB. Plus, every 6 minutes, it's weather and traffic. Depends on it.
Enjoy World Series excitement at home. Order your copy of the 1991 World Series Souvenir Scorebook. This program is truly a collector's item. Just send check or money order for $7.50 to World Series Program, Box 25, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651. That's Box 25, Trenton, New Jersey, 08651. Include your proper return address. Allow 4 to 6 weeks for delivery. Offer good in the U.S. and Canada. U.S. funds only. A message from Major League Baseball.
Braves lead at 2-1 as they come to bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, and joining me is a man who has waited 16 years to be in this position, that is doing a World Series. And partner, welcome. It's great to have a 2-1 lead. Take them.
Okay, Don, thanks very much. Steve Avery will hit for himself here. That's not a big surprise. Boy, he has been unbelievable. Erickson winds in the pitch. He shortened a bunt, took a fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Atlanta. David Justice's home run has given Atlanta the lead. The 1-0. Low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. That didn't miss by much. It's Avery, Lonnie Smith, Terry Pendleton in the Atlanta 5th inning. The wind, the 2-0. Right through there. A fastball. It's 2-1. The outfield shades Avery around toward left field. The wind and the pitch. Foul tip back. It's 2-2. So Erickson battles back to even the count. He has struck out a couple. And he has walked 1, and the walk to Greg Olson cost him a run. The wind and the 2-2. Pop foul back this way and into the booth, and Don drops the ball. It hit him in a bad place right in the hand. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind and the pitch. Foul tipped at home plate again, still 2-2.
I only have one piece of advice for Steve Avery. Hit the darn thing fair.
If that had been a golf ball, you'd have caught it. The 2-2 pitch. Here it is. Struck him out with an off-speed pitch. Avery is out. But he accomplished something in that at-bat. He embarrassed Don. 1 away.
No, I'm not embarrassed. I booted those before. This is not the first.
You are going to give the ball to the fans, aren't you?
Like heck I am. It's been a long time since I've been to a series, too.
First, he's against the wave, and now this. It just goes to show you. Here's Lonnie. Smith has struck out and flied to right. He is 0 for 8 in the series. He has scored a run. His 4th World Series. Erickson into the wind and the pitch. Swung line, but fouled on the left field line. And it's 0-1. How's your hand?
Both of them hurt. That was a stupid thing to do, and you sat right there and watched me.
I sure did. The 0-1 pitch, here it is. Swung, and there's a drive deep left field. Back goes Gladden. He's at the wall. That ball is gone. crowd is going nuts. His first postseason homer ever. And Terry Pendleton is the batter, and the Braves lead it 3-1 and appear to have refound their bats. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strike. Morris and Smoltz tomorrow night. The 1-0. Right in there. It's 1-1.
Well, what they've done, Skip, on those 2 homers is that they forced Erickson to get the ball up in the strike zone. If you chase his stuff down low, he'll wear you out, get ground balls all night long.
The 1-1 outside to Pendleton. It's 2-1. This crowd is like a one living thing with the war chant and the chop. It's an amazing sight to see. The 2-1 pitch. Low and inside. It's 3-1. And if they don't give him that pitch around the knees, you're right, he's in a little trouble.
And he has an American League umpire behind the plate. They don't give you the pitch low.
The 3-1 pitch. High and outside, he walked it. Walk number 2 for Erickson. And Ronnie Gant will be the batter. And Dick Such, the pitching coach, is on his way to the mound. He, by the way, is out of Sanford, North Carolina.
And Terry Leach is starting to throw down in the bullpen. 3-1 ball game. Normally in the American League, you wouldn't see this conversation, and you wouldn't see a reliever warming up with a designated hitter over there. They let the starter go as long as he can. That's the advantage that the Braves have coming back in here. The Twins are not used to generating offense without that, and Tom Kelly will have to manage his bullpen a little differently.
Well, the conversation is over now, and Leach, a former Brave farmhand, by the way, and then a Mets performer, getting ready in a hurry. He's the, if you recall, the sinker-balling side armor. So things are going good in the chop shop tonight. It's 3-1 Atlanta. Renner at first, 1 out. Ronnie Gant has bounced to short and flied to right. Erickson gets ready. To first, Pendleton back easily. A beautiful night, a bright moon shining up above. World Series baseball in Atlanta. The stretch. The pitch. Low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. That was nowhere near. Well, let's make things easy for Steve Avery, who, by the way, by rights, should have a no-hitter. If you joined us late, the first hitter of the game, Dan Gladden hit a fly ball to right center that Justice and Gant misplayed into a triple. The pitch. Swung on, popped up on the infield. Gant flings the bat away in disgust. And Knobloch makes the catch at second base for the second out of the inning. Here's David Justice. He is struck out and he is homered. Justice now 3 out of 8 with 2 runs scored, 1 driven in with a homer in this World Series. Your hand any better?
No, it's not. But thank you for noticing.
I'm really sorry about that.
I can tell.
The stretch. The pitch. At the knees, inside corner, 0-1. Swelling up there a little bit, looks like.
Both of them.
Maybe you better bring a glove tomorrow.
Or a net.
The stretch. Throw to first. Yeah, we get Ernie. Ernie Johnson's here tonight. Maybe get him to lend us his net. The crowd boos as Herbeck puts the tag on Pendleton at first. I don't think you can blame him for that. He made a good play. The pitch into the dirt. Ortiz blocks it. There goes Pendleton. The throw is late. It'll be a wild pitch. That landed about 10 feet in front of the plate.
Good base running by Terry Pendleton allowed him to do that because he was headed, his momentum headed towards second, and he didn't hesitate. A lot of base runners might take their eye off the ball and not be sure, but as soon as he saw it bounce, he was gone.
A ball and a strike. The count to David. Runner in scoring position. 2 out, 1 in. The stretch pitch. Breaking ball is low. 2 balls and a strike. Sid Bream is on deck. There are 2 out in the inning. Justice waits. Scott Erickson is ready. He deals. Swung, foul down the first base side. A ground ball, and the count evens at 2-2. Jack Morris and John Smoltz tomorrow night, and we'll have it for you. The pitch. Swung, little chop towards second. Now block in, up, waits for Herbeck. Fumbles the ball. Everybody is safe. He had that ball in his glove. When he reached to take it out, he had to wait for Herbeck, and he was watching Herbeck. So he didn't look in the glove. He just reached in, and he dropped the ball, and Atlanta's got a chance to do more damage here. That is an error.
You touched on the key right there, too. Herbeck wandered a little far from home, and Knobloch had to wait for him to get back. And in watching Herbeck go back to the bag, so he'd know when he got there, just reached in blindly and came up empty.
Sid Bream is lined hard to first and doubled off the right center field wall, and that's going to be all for Erickson. That crowd roar is Sid. David West now, a left-hander, is in the bullpen along with Leach, so we'll wait and see who gets the call. Erickson is through for the night. And the lefty will enter the game, and as the Twins call for relief, it's time for you to call a Georgia Power Good Sense specialist for relief from your heating and your cooling worries. Manager Tom Kelly is making a pitching change, and the new pitcher, David West. Hi, Skip Carey here for Georgia Power. Eliminate the guesswork from improving your home's utility costs. Upgrading your home to high-efficient Good Sense standards is the right way to go. And here's the right way to get the job done.
Call for Good Sense information at 1-800-874-7554 and request the dealers for your area. These dealers are Good Sense trained to provide expert recommendations and installation to help you save energy and money. Call today, 1-800-874-7554.
Stolen.
Grand Theft Auto, 3rd and Main.
Protect your car from theft with the Craco Nightstick steering wheel lock. Only the nightstick locks on top of the steering wheel so all of it can be seen from outside the car. And once locked on, your car cannot be driven. Craco guarantees the nightstick will protect your car from theft or pays up to $250 toward your insurance deductible. Craco Nightstick with or without alarm at Sears, Kmart, Target, Walmart, and Montgomery Ward Auto Express. Limited reimbursement for 1 year. See package for complete details and restrictions.
Big left-hander David West takes his warm-up tosses. He's 6'6", a 231-pounder out of Memphis, Tennessee. He came out of the Mets organization.
He was one of those key players in the trade that sent Frank Viola over there. Aguilera, David West, Tim Drummond, and Kevin Tapani. That's a pretty good haul for the Minnesota Twins. And there was a headline, Skip, in a newspaper up in Minnesota that said, "Trade for Viola gives Pennant ... to Twins."
Eventually, that's exactly what happened. West was 4-4, an earned run average of 4.5. And Sid Bream will hit for himself. West goes to the Rosenbach. He's a 27-year-old left-hander. He was a great prospect, but he's never really gotten it done in the major leagues. His pitch. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Olson would be next. Leach is in the bullpen. The crowd screams Sid. The stretch, the pitch. Low, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. 3-5-0 for the Braves. 1-1-1 for the Twins. And that air has kept this inning alive. The stretch. The pitch. Low, ball 3.
And that's been one of the things, Skip, that has led to his not being able to pitch successfully in the big leagues. No question he's got great stuff, but he pitches behind in the count most of the time. Then when he comes in there, gives up a lot of homers.
The 3-0 pitch. There's a strike at the letters on the outside edge. It's 3-1. 50,878 paid here tonight. It would have been more, but there are so many press people. And a lot of freebies for the series as well. The stretch. And the pitch outside, and the bases are loaded. So West issues a pass, and now the right-hand hitter, Greg Olson, is up there. No move yet out of the Twins' dugout. West walked 28 and 71 in a third innings during the regular season. A base hit here, and things would look pretty. The stretch. The pitch. Breaking ball, started to go, tried to stop, and he did. Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
This is an interesting matchup here, West against Olson, because Greg was his catcher part of the time in the minors when they both were with the Mets.
So they know all about one another. The stretch and the 1-0 pitch. Here it is. Low, inside, 2-0. You know, Pete's got the theory, and it's proven pretty accurate, that normally a catcher hitting against a guy he once caught normally fares pretty well.
Well, he knows what he does, and incidentally, that little bit of information passed to us by our partner, Pete Van Wieren.
2 balls, no strikes. West comes set. At the knees, fastball, 2-1. The stretch. And the 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Just missed inside. 3-1. A walk means a run. That was a pretty good pitch.
And that's a pitch he would probably get were he in the National League, or were he to have a National League umpire behind the plate.
3 balls, 1 strike. Here we go. The pitch. He walked him. A run is it. And that'll do it for David West. He faced 2 men. He walked them both. Tom Kelly again on his way. It's 4-1 Atlanta, and the Braves have a chance still to break things wide open. Tom Kelly again going to make a pitching change, and the new pitcher will be right-hander Terry Leach. Hi, Skip Carey here for Georgia Power. You've heard me tell you how Good Sense high energy efficient standards can save you up to 30% on your utility bills. So you know the facts, right? Well, what are you waiting for?
To find out how to improve the efficiency and comfort of your heating and cooling system, call your local Georgia Power office or toll-free 1-800-874-7554. 1-800-874-7554. Good Sense standards will help you save energy and money.
I hate the sneaking around, the games.
Lucinda Sullivan's cheating on her husband.
But you make me so happy.
But someone's about to start cheating her.
They know everything about us.
What are you talking about?
Blackmailers.
In this game, it's either cheat
You gave him the money? You shouldn't have given him the money.
or be cheated.
She was in on it.
Now we're gonna have to pay.
Kill him! What are you waiting for? We have to kill him!
Blackmail, a USA World Premiere movie starring Susan Blakely and Mac Davis. Tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central on USA.
he completes his warm-up tosses, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Braves Baseball on AM-750 WSB.
Kofor Brothers in Tucker salutes the miraculous Atlanta Braves. Go Braves! AM-750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
Terry Leach ready to go. He's out of play. You know, you mentioned Avery's similarity to Carlton. Well, Steve knows less about wine, but he talks to the press more.
That's part of the maturation process that Avery's already completed. Incidentally, Carlton would like to get into our end of the business now.
Which is sort of funny. A guy who wouldn't talk for all those years. The 1-2 pitch. Just missed inside with a fastball. He had him at his mercy, but the pitch missed the plate inside. And the count evens at 2 balls, 2 strikes. The stretch. Larkin waits the pitch. Swung line, left field, base hit. Larkin delivers a pinch hit. Ortiz will stop at second. And the tying run comes to the plate here. First and second with nobody out, and Dan Gladden, the batter. Good job of hitting by Larkin. Looked like he waited for the change. He didn't hit it really hard, but he got enough of it to lift it over Pendleton's head, and trouble for Avery here in the 6th.
Well, he took that inside fastball, the one you mentioned that he had him at his mercy, and if Avery could have gotten it there, he would have gotten called strike 3, but Larkin kind of served notice on that, okay, I think you're going to make me hit something off speed, so I'm going to look for it.
Gladden has a fly ball triple, and he is struck out. Until this inning, that playable triple was the only hit, but no longer. Avery comes set. The runners lead. There's nobody out in the pitch. Slow curve high. 1 ball, no strikes. Gladden had 6 home runs this year. He's got pretty good power. We remember him from his days with the Giants. He was a center fielder then. He plays left now. The 1-0 pitch. Swung and a fly ball deep left field. Back goes Lonnie Smith. He's on the track. He's at the wall, and he makes the catch. Ortiz is coming to third, and he will make it. And Gladden flirted with hitting one right out of here. First and third, 1 out. And Chuck Knobloch will be the batter. That was a little scary.
3 pitches he's got in the hitting area. They got 2 singles and just a scare with the other. But if he holds true to form, he'll take a little walk around. He's asking Mark Lemke right now, did he leave too quickly? He's satisfied that he didn't, so he's headed back to the mound. But if he holds true to form as he's done for about the last 6 weeks, Skip, he'll kick it up another notch for the rest of the way.
I was really surprised, by the way, on Larkin's base hit that Ortiz didn't get to third base on that ball. If he does, he can walk home on that long fly, and it would be a 4-2 game, but he did not. And now the double play is in effect. First and third, 1 out. Knobloch hurt the Braves up there with base hits the other way. The pitch swung and popped up on the infield. Sid Bream calls for the ball in foul territory. He's got it. 2 out. Knobloch can't get the run home. 2 away. And it's all up to Kent Herbeck, who has bounced to short and flied to center and is a tough hombre. They keep booing him because the PA man doesn't announce Drew Cobal's name. Every time Herbeck comes up, the stretch. The pitch. Swung, fly ball, deep center field. Back goes Gant. He's on the track. He's there, and the inning is over. Boy, they hit the daylights out of the ball against Avery in that inning, but they have nothing to show for it. Herbeck hit it about 395 feet to straightaway center. 2 hits, no runs, no errors, 2 left. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Braves 4, Twins 1.
Hi, I'm John Madden. You know, I usually don't get excited about 1-800 numbers, especially when people sing them. Why do they do that? But the Walker Advantage Muffler toll-free hotline is different. It's exciting because it tells you where to get the Walker Advantage, the most advanced muffler you can buy. and the only one with Absorbite, a built-in rust fighter. So I'm happy to tell you the number, 1-800-422-2484. Hey, just don't ask me to sing it.
For your nearest Walker Advantage installer, call 1-800-422-2484.
Check out these specs. 4 channels, amplifier, subwoofer, beta input transistors for clarity, loads of volume, plus terrific bass response.
Sounds pretty good.
Are you kidding? It sounds awesome. Listen.
Introducing Odyssey, the new automotive sound barrier breakthrough from Delco Electronics. Available only on Chevy Cavaliers and S10 trucks, and on Geostorms, tractors, and Metros. You won't just hear it. You'll feel it. Sound it pound!
Isn't there someone you'd like to call?
Oh, you was such a terror.
Oh, you lied. This week is AT&T Reunion Week, where AT&T customers can call for a special price of 11 cents a minute.
How about the time you chased me down the street in your pajamas?
Monday through Friday from 5 to 11 p.m. It's only 11 cents a minute for AT&T direct dial out-of-state calls within the U.S.
How old was I, too?
So what are you waiting for? Give someone a call this week. AT&T, all you need to reach out.
Does not apply to all AT&T calling plan calls.
Well, yeah, how would I want it?
You're a Jeep Cherokee?
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, the Nissan Pathfinder or Ford Explorer?
Yeah. Cherokee offered more power, a choice of warranties, 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a reputation for dependability.
And you look for that, huh?
I look for it in a man. I might as well look for it in what I drive.
Okay.
Because with my track record, what I drive will be around a whole lot longer.
I'm sure it will.
Jeep Cherokee, another advantage from your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
As thrilling as a flat tire in rush hour. The Gary McKee Hometown Radio Show, 4 to 7 p.m. on AM-750 WSB.
Bottom half of the 6th inning rolls around. Steve Bedrosian on to pitch, the former Brave. For the Twins, Bedrock didn't have a real good year. He was 5-3, but a higher earned run average, 4.42. And a revealing statistic on him in 77 in the 3rd innings, he struck out just 44. That's a very low number for Bedrosian, who has been a power pitcher. Rafael Belliard leads it off, and the bottom of the 6th is underway, and the fastball is inside. 1 ball, no strikes. The big right-hander again into the motion. He delivers. Fastball low, 2-0. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. Don Sutton, Skip Carey with you at the moment. Pete Van Weer and Dave O'Brien have been and will be with you as well. There's a strike to Belliard. It's 2-1. Our rotation on radio and postseason play is a lot like our TV rotation all the time. The pitch. Shot towards short. Gagne up and throwing. Got him by a step. Boy, he is shown to be a good shortstop. 1 down. Here's Avery.
Twins got him from the Yankees. They thought they were getting a guy who would play defense and not provide too much offense, but he's shown some pretty good power. And he, not just in the World Series game, but he's done it every year for them, hit 7, 8, 9 home runs. But the one thing that he's demonstrated already in the series, the point you touched on, as good an arm as you'll see from a shortstop.
Steve Avery, the batter, he has bounced out, struck out. The wind by Bedrosian and the pitch. Fastball outside, 1 ball, no strikes. You want to go stand out in the hall till he's through hitting? Might hit one back here again. The pitch. Started to swing, stopped in time. 2-0.
No, this time I'm just going to get the heck out of the way and not try to be stupid and catch up.
Mr. Macho. 2 balls, no strike.
No loss.
The wind and the pitch. Outside, ball 3. So Bedrosian 1 pitch away from walking the pitcher here. The 3-0 pitch. Here it is. Right through there. It's 3-1. A fastball down the middle, and he'll probably see another one, and he'll probably take another one. 3 balls, 1 strike. See if they turn him loose. Bedrosian deal. Strike 2 called. Fastball outside corner. He was taking all the way, and the count runs full at 3-2. The wind and the pitch. Struck him out. So Bedrosian rallies down in the count 3-0. 3 straight fastballs and disposes of Avery. Bedrock's first strikeout. By the way, his little boy, Bedrosian, I'm sure you read about, is being discovered as an infant to have leukemia. Everything is fine. The youngster is in complete remission. They're great people, Tammy and Steve, and we're very, very happy about that.
They've even added another son to the clan this summer.
Here's Lonnie, who homered his last time to start the 2-run fifth. Bedrosian delivers. Low, 1 ball, no strikes. Bedrosian's been with the Braves, the Phillies, the Giants, and now the Twins. 1 ball, no strikes. The wind, the pitch. Swam, bouncing ball foul past Jimmy Williams, the third base coach. A ball and a strike to count. Morris and Smoltz tomorrow. Tampany and Glavin on Thursday. The wind and the pitch. Downstairs, 2-1. Erickson and Avery would pitch Game 6 in Minneapolis, and Morris and Smoltz Game 7. 2 balls, 1 strike. The wind, the pitch. Swung, a little tap back to the mound. He knocks it down, can't find it. Now throws just in time, and the inning is over. That ball dropped right at Steve's feet. He looked everywhere but there, but finally pounced on it and threw out Lonnie Smith. And the inning comes to a close. Nothing doing for Atlanta. No hits, no runs, no errors, and nobody left. We move on to the 7th. It's 4-1 Atlanta.
I'm taking my family on a road trip, but first, I want to be sure the car is up to it.
At One Auto Center, feeling safe is a priority. Sears. That's why Sears offers the free road handler brake inspection. It combs your car brakes from rotors to drums.
I'm telling you, peace of mind means everything.
And should your brakes need servicing, Sears road handler brake service is so complete, the shoes and pads are guaranteed for the life of your car. Coast to coast. Ask a Sears brake specialist for details.
Hey, who's going to back you better in Sears?
Remember when futurists talked about the 4-day week and wondered what we'd do with all that leisure time? Well, the last futurist died in his sleep waiting for a car loan at some bank or credit union. He should have seen the future. GMAC. With GMAC, you can lease or finance that new Chevrolet, Pontiac, Oldsmobile, Buick, Cadillac, or GMC truck right at your GM dealers without waiting in line. Now that's as close to leisure as you're going to get. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster than GMAC.
State Farm sells life insurance from an agent who's famous for good neighbor service. What's good neighbor service when it comes to life insurance? Well, it's doing a lot of listening, so your plan will meet your specific needs. It's doing a lot of explaining, so you'll know just what you're buying. And it's being there after you buy the policy to keep that plan working as your life changes. For sensible, affordable protection that comes with good neighbor service. Remember, State Farm sells life insurance.
Oh, Susan, I love you so much.
And I love you.
I mean, I love you so much, I can't get enough of you. If there was any way, I'd have 1,000 Susans.
Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill. Oh, Bill.
Just a reminder, when you think of perfect duplications, think meter copiers. The image specialist, call 1-800-ABC-MITA.
I love you, Susans.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, it's Wes Minner. Join me following Game 3 of the World Series and hopefully a Braves win for the hottest, coolest radio talk show in the night right here on AM-750 WSB.
We go to the 7th inning. Keith Mitchell in to play left field for Atlanta, and bat in the leadoff spot, taking Lonnie Smith's place, Kirby Puckett. Leads off the 7th, and Avery deals, and it's outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Puckett is 0 for 10 in the World Series. He's a fine hitter, however. The wind and the pitch. Swung and drilled. Deep left field. Back goes Mitchell. He looks up. That ball is gone. And they have hit some rocket shots in the last 2 innings of Steve Avery. So Puckett gets on the board. It's a 4-2 ball game. He really crushed that baby.
You want to throw strikes, Skip, but you don't always want to throw strikes in their hitting area. You'd like to divide the strike zone into 2 halves and pick out one that's safe. Puckett hasn't had a fastball inside to hit 10 at-bats. That's the first one. And he didn't miss it. That's why you hit 320 for your career and sometimes upwards of 380.
So it's a 4-2 game, and Shane Mack is the batter. He's 0 for 9 in the series. The wind and the pitch to him. High and away, 1 ball, no strikes, activity in the Atlanta bullpen.
Wohlers and Stanton.
Mack has struck out and flied to right. The wind, the 1-0 pitch. Swung, ground ball to third. Pendleton on a short hop. Hop, skip, and throw. 1 out. So Mack is out of there, and Scott Leyes, the batter, 0 for 2 tonight. Boy, what a sickening feeling when he hit that home run the other night in Minneapolis. Not if you're a Twins fan, of course, but we're not.
Well, he went up looking for a pitch and got it. Sometimes you can do that as a hitter, and you're fortunate enough to hit it out of the ballpark. Other times you go up looking for a pitch, you don't get the pitch. The flip side of that is you can look awfully embarrassed.
The right-hand hitter stands right on top of the plate. The wind and the pitch. Curveball, low, 1 ball, no strikes. 4-2 our score. Braves on top. It's getting late. We're in the 7th. 1 in, 1 out. The pitch. Strike called over the outside corner. It's even now at 1-1. 4-5-0 for Atlanta. 2-4-1 for the Twins. The 1-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung, little pop fly, short right field. Justice in 5 steps. Now back 1. He's got it. 2 down.
Some of the good swings they've had, Skip, have been on Avery's fastball. The nice thing about his maturity and the nice thing about this unusual 21-year-old is that now, after that, he's gone to the changeup, he's gone to the curveball. He's getting them both over, so he can really foul their timing up and not have to rely on the 1 pitch.
Greg Gagne, the batter, is fouled to the catcher and bounced to short. The wind and the pitch to him outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Justice, Lonnie Smith, and now Kirby Puckett have home runs in this game. Braves on top, 4-2. The wind and the 1-0 pitch. Downstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. Same 2 teams tomorrow night. Pre-game programming will be at... Pre-game programming tomorrow, pitches fouled back, will be at 8:05 Eastern Time. Right here on WSB. You can depend on it. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Avery again winds and delivers. Swung, a little swinging bunt, fouled on the third base line. So Gagne returns to home plate. Carl Willis up and throwing, a right-hander, a North Carolinian in the Twins bullpen. Crowd on their feet trying to urge Avery into a strikeout. Two balls, 2 strikes. The wind and the pitch. Fouled the fastball back, still 2-2. Gagne out of the batter's box. This game far from over. It's only a 2-run game. Avery into the wind and the pitch. Swung, fouled away again. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Avery mops his brow. It's a pleasant, cool evening at the ballpark, but not if you're out there in the middle of the diamond. Two balls, 2 strikes. The wind, the pitch. Swung, little pop fly, short right field. Lemke is out calling for it. He's got it, and the inning is over. So no further damage done by the Twins. And after the home run, Avery gets them 1, 2, 3, and with ease. 1 hit, 1 run, no errors. Nobody left. The Twins have left just 2. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Atlanta 4, Minnesota 2.
If you're looking for a way to beat the gold car blues, your Isuzu dealer's got the right
Isuzu for You sale is the right time for year-end savings on selected 91 Isuzu cars, trucks, and sport utility vehicles. Like the Go Anywhere, Carry Anything Isuzu Rodeo 4x4. Year-end priced at up to $500 off. It's as big on power and performance as it is on looks.
The right Isuzu for you.
With its standard rear-wheel anti-lock brake system, phenomenal passenger space, optional four-wheel drive with auto-locking hubs, in addition to its already low price, the Isuzu Rodeo 4x4 is the right Isuzu for you. See your Isuzu dealer today and save up to $500 on a Rodeo now during the Isuzu for You sale. But hurry, the sale ends soon.
Info Stylist Pickup Trooper, Rodeos too. Your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Based on factory-to-dealer incentives, which may vary by model. Actual prices will vary. See dealer for details.
Remember family, friends, and growing up.
Mom, I may have already met a girl. When will you know for sure?
The Washington Post says Brooklyn Bridge is probably the best new series of any kind on any network.
It's a girl. For you. Okay, I admit it. I'm interested.
And USA Today gives Brooklyn Bridge 4 stars, calling it a knockout.
I'm not somebody to push myself into other people's business. Oh, come on. Just this once.
Brooklyn Bridge, Friday on CBS.
Morning, noon, and night. Tune in 2, 3, 4 times a day. Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station, AM-750 WSB.
The 1991 World Series. The Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins on AM-750 WSB. Presented in part by Isuzu, CBS Television, Ford Quality Care, and Mita Copiers on AM-750 WSB, the sports voice of the South.
Before we go to the bottom of the 7th, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Braves Baseball on AM-750 WSB.
Atlanta's Hall of Fame dealer, Southern Lincoln Mercury, says thank you for a year we'll never forget. That's Southern Lincoln Mercury, 2 miles inside I-285 on Highway 78 in Decatur. Southern Lincoln Mercury says, go Braves. AM-750 WSB Atlanta.
A little insurance couldn't hurt. We go to the bottom of the 7th. The Braves have the heart of the order up there. Pendleton, Gant, and Justice, the first 3. Against Steve Bedrosian, the 4th pitcher of the night, used by Tom Kelly and the Twins. Pendleton is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And the first pitch to him is a strike right through there. It's 0-1. 4-2 Braves. That's our score. Bedrock again into the wind. He delivers. Fastball, pop fouled. Out of play to the left. It's 0-2. He tried to inside out that ball into left field, but fouled it away. So Bedrosian quickly out in front in the count. Steve, one of the few ball players left who blouses those uniform pants right at the knee. The 0-2 pitch. Here it is. Swung, pop foul to the left, out of play again. Still 0-2.
Let me ask you a question. Do you get the feeling when you watch the Braves play, and we've seen it happen all year long, they really don't know what the situation is? They play like they really don't care that they're down 2-0.
I agree with you. The 0-2 pitch. Swung, popped up on the infield. That'll be easy. Leyes at third base waits and takes 1 down. I think this team has been amazing all year. We kept reading and hearing about, well, when it gets to September, these young guys have never been through it before. This team probably had one of the great second halves in baseball history to win a pennant.
Had at least a dozen chances to fold and didn't do it.
The wind and the pitch to Ronnie Gant is forthcoming, and it's lined into left center field. Puckett on the run, so is Gladden. Gladden gets there for the second out. That ball was sharply hit, but 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 7th. Down 3-2 to the Pirates. Going back to Pittsburgh after losing 2 in a row here. No problem for this team. I'm not saying they're going to win it, but they're not going to be scared out of it. Here's David Justice. He has struck out, he has reached on an error, and he has hit a solo home run. A line drive that just skimmed over the fence. It was hit so hard, I didn't know if it would get out, but it did. Bedrosian into the wind, and the pitch. Let up downstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. How would you pitch Justice, Don, if you were still between the lines?
I would just show him the fastball inside above the belt just to keep him honest. I think he is a good high fastball hitter. But when a guy stands on the plate, he's telling you, he's inviting the ball inside. And you can't stand on the plate unless you can hit that. The only time I would throw him a pitch inside would be right at the letters, back him out of there. He'd have to hit something up and away and drive it out to left field.
The 1-0 breaking ball in there for a strike. It's 1-1. Alejandro Pena begins to loosen in the Atlanta bullpen. Justice and Lonnie Smith have homered for Atlanta. Kirby Puckett has hit one for the Twins. The wind and the 1-1. Let up low. 2 balls, 1 strike. He hasn't thrown him a fastball yet. Justice out of the batter's box for a moment. Now he stands back in. The wind and the 2-1 pitch. Here it is. Swung, pop foul back and out of play, and it's 2-2, and we were both ducking on that one, but it caught the top of the screen. See, I do that all the time. You're just
I
learning.
wondered why, and now I know.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind and the 2-2 pitch. Just missed the outside corner. Bedrosian was on his way to the dugout, but Drew Coble called him back. Payoff pitch is due David Justice here. It's 4-2 Atlanta with 2 out in the bottom of the 7th. Dave will join Don to bring you the rest of the play-by-play after this inning. The wind and the pitch. Swung, sharply hit to first. Herbeck has it. He'll take it himself. And Bedrosian has set down 6 in a row. No hits, no runs, no errors, nobody left. We're through 7. Braves 4. Twins 2.
Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket, is proud to sponsor the Atlanta Braves, America's team. It's a great combination. America's favorite pastime and America's favorite supermarket. And Winn-Dixie's also proud to bring you low prices nobody can beat. Score big with WD brand U.S. choice beef, only from Winn-Dixie, and hit a home run with super savings and everyday low prices down every aisle in the store. So all you Atlanta Braves fans, slide on into your nearby Winn-Dixie for low prices nobody can beat on everything you need for the big game. Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket, a proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves.
Texaco Technology reports. A problem with too much detergent in gasoline. It can increase a car's need for higher octane. Texaco System 3 scientists solved that problem with a patented octane control technology to help control octane appetite while it cleans effectively in every single octane grade. Texaco System 3 gasoline. It's that good.
Hi there, I'm Phil Singer, and once again it's time for Sports Quest. Today, quit pulling your sister's hair there. Family endurance racing. Right now, we're nearing the finish of the Florida Vacation Grand Prix with leaders Mark, Debbie, Evan, and Sarah Woolen. So, Mark, every year you pack up the station wagon and drive the family over 1,400 miles to Florida.
Oh, yeah. All in 24 hours, right, Deb?
He likes to call it 24 hours in the Le Mans. I call it torture, especially since we've added another crew member. I'm hungry.
Hang in there, honey.
I keep telling him we should have flown Delta Airlines.
Well, with more system-wide flights to and from Florida than any other airline, I can see why. Delta's much quicker and a lot more comfortable.
Oh, but think of what we'd miss, huh? The adventure?
The traffic?
The scenery?
The speeding tickets.
Young man, we can turn this car around and go home right now.
Go ahead, Dad. We're in Florida, and we live in Wyoming.
The next time you're racing off to Florida, take Delta. For reservations, see your travel agent or call Delta.
Are we there yet?
Tomorrow, join us for Atlanta's morning news, weather, and traffic reports between 5 and 9 a.m. Plus, we'll settle on who's the best baseball player of all time on AM-750 WSB.
4-2 Braves. Twins coming to bat in the 8th inning. Avery needs 6 outs. I've called in the dogs, and here to put out the fire once again, Dave O'Brien.
I hope there's no fire to put out there, Don, but it's 4-2. Braves in front. You guys did a great job. Avery will try to hold that lead. And Brian Harper will lead it off, batting for Junior Ortiz, and the first pitch misses wide. 4-1. Harper has some power. He's a fine hitting catcher. The only reason he didn't start tonight, he hit .311 during the regular season, is that Junior Ortiz always catches Scott Erickson. The pitch, a little outside, 2-0. When you take out Ortiz and the man on deck, Chili Davis did not start, neither did Harper. You take out those two guys, you're missing a lot of power and RBIs. There's a strike catching the outside corner. Count runs to 2-1. In fact, when Davis, who usually DHs, and Harper do not play, 39 homers, 162 RBIs come out of the Twins lineup. This pitch outside, Harper holding his swing, and it's 3-1. Al Pena is loosening up in the Atlanta bullpen, has been for about the last 5 or 6 minutes. Avery has struck out 5 and allowed 4 hits. He winds, and the 3-1 pitch is taken on the outside corner for a strike. Harper had flipped his bat. He was a third of the way down the first base line, thinking he had drawn ball 4, and now he has to come back, and that's embarrassing.
Well, a couple of things right there. He better be swinging if this was as close. And secondly, up until that point, there was no chapter of the Drew Coble fan club in Atlanta. One may have just started.
Yeah, but only about 5 people bothered to join. He's the guy, remember, who ruled that Ronnie Gant was out when Herbeck lifted him off the base in Game 2. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hard hit grounder to third, off Terry Pendleton. He picks it up on the bounce, throws, and it won't be in time. That one really a hot smash off the bat of Brian Harper. He really hit it hard. Pendleton tried to backhand it, but could not make the play. And a runner is on at first.
They haven't scored it yet, Dave. We're watching the scoreboard. The trio of Tom Nee, the Twins regular scorekeeper, Mark Fredrickson, and Kit Steer out of the Baseball Writers Association, taking a little time on that one. And that gives Bobby Cox time enough to pop out of the dugout and make his way to the mound. It's kind of hard to know right now if he's bringing a hook with him or not, but Avery has been hit hard the last couple of innings.
And he is going to be through for the night. And listen to the crowd cheer on their feet for Steve Avery, who leaves with the lead and no chance to lose it. A standing ovation for the 21-year-old. Manager Bobby Cox is going to make a pitching change right now, and the new Brave pitcher will be right-hander Al Pena.
This is your best chance of the year to save really big on Goodyear tires. It's the Goodyear Buy 3, Get the 4th Tire Free sale. That's right. Buy 3 Goodyear All-Season radials and get the 4th tire free. You can save on Goodyear Arriva All-Season radials, Goodyear Eagle GT Plus 4 All-Season Performance radials, and Goodyear Wrangler HT radials for your RV. The Goodyear Buy 3, Get the 4th Tire Free sale. It's happening now at participating Goodyear retailers. Don't miss out. Sale ends October 26th.
There's no such thing as a free lunch. In fact, the average family of 4 spends almost $2,500 a year dining out. Luckily, your Discover card is welcome at all kinds of restaurants, so all those meals can earn cash back, up to 1% yearly based on annual purchases. And if you're going out to eat, why not get your just desserts? It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
The Iceman cometh. Right-hander Al Pena is on in relief of Steve Avery, who in 7 innings allowed 2 runs on 4 hits. He fanned 5. He did not walk a man. So in 23 1/3 innings of playoff baseball, 21-year-old Steve Avery has allowed all of 2 runs.
He has been utterly amazing, and it's kind of fun to see the respect and the response that he's getting around the country. We saw it up in Minneapolis. Now he's being featured on a lot of the national stuff on the networks. But I think even more than that, Dave, it is seeing the way he's handling it, almost like a total lack of concern. It's almost like, isn't this what I'm supposed to be doing? So he doesn't act like a 21-year-old. And I guess what it says about the maturation process as a pitcher is if you start doing it the right way early, all the big leagues can be is a step further along the way you've been doing it all along.
Can you imagine being his age, pitching in your first World Series game, leaving with the lead, having set all sorts of records back in the National League Championship, having won the MVP, and tonight qualifies as a down outing for him?
Yeah, a bad outing. Isn't that something? I'll tell you one thing. Steve Avery has a chance, if he can stay healthy and continue to pitch well, of being a full partner in the Atlanta Braves in 6 years.
I think you're right. We're looking at chairman of the board material. He's also going to be married as soon as this World Series is over sometime in November. So he's got some more important stuff on the agenda.
Well, he will have grocery money. Count on it.
Yeah. Al Pena is on. He saved 3 games in the National League Championship Series. He was golden. And here he'll face Chili Davis, the dangerous switch hitter, who hit 29 home runs during the regular season and a big 2-run homer in Game 2 in Minnesota. He bats left-handed here, and the first pitch on the way. Misses inside for ball 1. Incidentally, Brian Harper's hard-hit ground ball to Terry Pendleton was ruled an error on Pendleton. That's the first for Atlanta tonight.
And if you ask him, you'll get no argument with the call.
The look in by the right-hander. Gets his sign from Olsen and comes set. The 1-0 pitch home. Fouled straight back upstairs and almost into John Sherholtz's booth next to us. We're getting bombarded tonight.
One thing about it, the booth we worked out of in Minnesota was so small the ball couldn't have gotten in there. We just a little more territory here.
I feel like one of those shooting gallery bears, you know, wobbling back and forth out of the way. Counts the ball and a strike on Chili. Dan Gladden on deck. Pena's 1-1 offering. There's a deep fly ball to left. Mitchell is going back. He's looking up. That ball is gone, and we are tied. Chili Davis with a rocket shot the other way. It's a 2-run homer, and it's a 4-4 game. And our crowd here is stunned, except for a band of Minnesota fans right underneath us waving their homer hankies all by themselves. There are about 50 of them. They're the only ones making any noise in the whole ballpark.
And you can understand why. Stunned is the only thing you can say. Davis took a fastball on the outer half of the plate. Didn't pull it like Al Pena would hope he would do, but hit a tee shot over the left field fence. Back to square one.
That's the 6th homer in the series from Minnesota. Here's Gladden. Laces the first one foul to the screen. It's 0-1. 6 home runs now. And this ball club is lighting it up. They've hit 2 in each of the games. Chili Davis with his 2nd home run of the 1991 World Series. Still nobody out, and the pitch to Gladden. A check swing foul. 0-2. Gladden has tripled, struck out, and flied out to left. That's why the Minnesota Twins, that and a lot of other reasons, were such a force in that very tough American League West. They hit a lot of home runs. And they ran away with that balanced division. Here's the 0-2. Hard hit grounded to third, fielded this time by Pendleton. He makes a good throw over to first for the out. 1 away in the 8th inning. So the Braves are back to square one, all tied again. And the Twins have powered themselves back in it. Puckett's homer and Davis's homer, accounting for 3 of their 4 runs. And, Don, they've scored 12 runs. 10 of them can be accounted for by homers.
And that's the difference in the series right now. The reason that they're up by 2 and tied in this one.
Here's Chuck Knobloch. 0 for 2 with an RBI on a sac fly. Takes the first pitch wide for ball 1. The 2-run homer by Chili Davis. Also the first run scored off Al Pena in the postseason. Herbeck on deck, 1 down, bases empty. The kick and throw, that's a little high. 2-0. It all started when Brian Harper hit a very hard ground ball to third that Pendleton couldn't handle. That was off of Steve Avery when Avery left the game. Davis was the first man to face Al Pena, and batting left-handed, he went the other way and ripped a 2-run homer over the fence. Hit it down the left field line over the left field wall. Here's the kick and the 2-0 pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 2-1. Each team now with 5 hits. Each side has committed 1 error. It's a 4-4 ball game. Olson down with the sign. Pena's 2-1 offering. There's a looping line drive into right field for a base hit. Knobloch is on. His first hit of the game. And in 7 playoff games, the rookie is hitting .385. Has an RBI and a single here. The boos you hear for none other than Ken Herbeck, who has grounded out to short, fly to center, and then fly very deep to center field, just missing a 3-run homer in the 6th inning. It would have tied the game at that point. Ronnie Gant just did haul that ball in. Mike Stanton still throwing in the Atlanta bullpen. 1 down. Here's the stretch. A throw to first, and the runner dives in safely. Knobloch with good speed stole 25 bases in the regular season.
And only caught 5 times, so he has a good percentage. He knows when to run. And this rookie's picked up a lot of things, and the knowledge of base stealing is one he's acquired very early.
Herbeck waits on the left side of the dish. Here's the set and pitch home. There's a chopper up the middle and through for a base hit. Knobloch rounds second. He's going for third. Here comes Gant's throw back to the infield, and he is safe at third. Men on the corners, a base hit for Herbeck. And the Twins are threatening here to take the lead in the 8th inning. Seeing a single up the middle off the bat of Herbeck. And Al Pena is getting banged around here. Kirby Puckett is the hitter. He struck out, fly to right, and homered. His homer a solo shot to lead off the 7th. Shane Mack is the on-deck hitter. Couple of right-hand batters here for Pena. Only 1 out. Puckett hits into a lot of double plays. And Bobby Cox is making his way out of the Atlanta dugout. And let's see what he decides to do here. While we have a moment, let's pause for station identification. You're listening to Braves Baseball on AM-750 WSB.
Atlanta's Hall of Fame dealer, Southern Lincoln Mercury, says thank you for a year we'll never forget. That's Southern Lincoln Mercury, 2 miles inside I-285 on Highway 78 in Decatur. Southern Lincoln Mercury says go Braves. AM-750 WSB Atlanta.
A 2-run homer, and now back-to-back singles with 1 man out. Makes the situation 1st and 3rd, 1 away. Pena will stay in the game. Bobby Cox trotting off into the Atlanta dugout. It'll be Pena to square off against Kirby Puckett.
And another tribute thrown to the Twins scouting report. That ground ball up the middle. Gant got to it very quickly. But the Twins on their scouting report say that only David Justice's arm in the Braves outfield is one to be feared.
Here's Puckett now 1 for 3 with a homer. He put on a show in batting practice. He must have hit 15 out of the park. The pitch is outside ball 1. Puckett only 1 for 10 in the series with that homer. But remember, he went hitless in games 1 and 2 of the American League Championship Series, then went on to get 9 hits and drive in 6 runs in the last 3 games. Those were all Twin victories, by the way. The last 3. Here's the pitch. Fouls it away. A looper off to the right. It's a ball and a strike. Puckett, incidentally, won the MVP in the American League Championship. For the season, he batted .319 with 15 homers and 89 runs batted in. He is up there to swing. Pena stares in. Runners lead at first and third with one out. And the pitch. Fouled away. He was a little late, looped it off to the right. And Pena's ahead in the count, 1-2. Shane Mack, the on-deck hitter. He and Puckett combined have only one hit in this series. That was Kirby's homer. But a single here by Puckett would put Minnesota in front. Top half of the eighth, it's a 4-4 tie suddenly, thanks to a Chili Davis 2-run homer. The set by Pena and the pitch. Oh, gobbled up by Olsen. That ball in the dirt outside, almost a wild pitch. That was close.
And the temptation is to say, ho-hum, he did it again. We have seen him do that so often. But this one a little bit different style for Ole. Normally he slides out, puts his chest in front of it, keeps it in front of him, but he didn't have a chance. He picked that one like a first baseman.
And saved a run. Counts 2-2 to Puckett. Olsen down with the sign, and Pena comes set. Runners lead on the corners, and the 2-2. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. A high fastball. Two men are out, and here comes Shane Mack.
Teased him with pitches down to get the count to 2-2. Came back with one cap bill high. You touched on it. He's up there hacking. And that ball right at the bill of his helmet. He pulled off of it, swung right through it.
Second time he's fanned in the game. And Mack is hitless 0 for 3, having struck out, fly to right, grounded out to third. He's 0 for 10 in the championship. And he's also struck out 7 times. Here's the pause by Pena. And the pitch. Taking high ball 1. Players on deck. Braves 4 and the Twins 4. The set at the belt and the 1-0 pitch. Fouled away off to the right. Evens it up 1-1. Minnesota has now out-hit Atlanta 7-5. Braves out-hit the Twins in Game 2, but came up a run short. Pena stares in. Stretches and pitches. It's high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Knobloch on at third. Herbeck at first. A left-hand batter, and the first pitch to him is swung on and missed. 0-1. Greg Gagne on deck, then Brian Harper here in the 9th. 4 runs, 7 hits, an error for the Twins, 4-5-1 for Atlanta. Minnesota has banged their way back into it with the long ball. Here's the kick and the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-2. Caray-Pete has seen plenty of Alejandro Pena, the former Yankee and San Diego Padre. Plenty of looks against him while he played for San Diego. The right-hander's 0-2 pitch. Downstairs, missing. It's 1-2. In 1987, the Twins won the first 2 World Series games at the Metrodome, as they did this year. Then they lost 3 in a row at St. Louis. They had to come back and sweep 2 to be the champions that year. The 1-2 offering. Popped him up off third, hooking into the crowd, but Pendleton's over, and it's too far in. About 3 rows behind the Minnesota dugout. A ball, 2 strikes on the hitter. It was in Game 3 of the American League Championship Series that Caray-Pete hit that ball out of Skydome. It was a clutch hit. He called it his biggest thrill in sports. Pena's 1-2 home. Foul back off the screen. So Steve Avery, for the first time in the playoffs, will not be involved in the decision. He went 7, allowing 2 runs, 4 hits, struck out 5, didn't walk anyone, but he will not be involved. The 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed. That ball in the dirt. He chased a bad pitch. Caray-Pete strikes out, 1 gone in the 9th inning from Minnesota.
Same pitch he got Andy Van Slyke on up at Pittsburgh, only this time the changeup down and away, perfect spot. After showing Caray-Pete all fastballs, had him at his mercy.
Here's Gagne, who's popped to the catcher, grounded out to short, and popped out to second. Hasn't hit anything hard yet. He's 2 for 9 in the series with a homer. That 3-run shot in game 1. The pitch. Foul back, strike 1. Gagne is an outstanding shortstop. He has excellent range. He made only 9 errors all year, and he's put on a show a couple of times in this series. Only Cal Ripken had a higher fielding percentage among American League shortstops. The 0-1 pitch is high. Strikes out a good deal. Did hit 8 home runs during the regular season, driving in 42. A .265 hitter. But his forte is defense. Pena gets his sign from Olson into the windup. And the 1-1 pitch. Hit high in the air, pretty deep to right. Justice is going back, has room, and shy of the track, puts it away. 2 down in the 9th inning for Minnesota, and Harper the hitter. Due up in the Atlanta 9th, Rafael Belliard, Alejandro Pena, and Keith Mitchell. Pena, of course, will not hit. Harper reached on an error and scored on the Davis home run his first trip. He takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Harper's having a pretty good series. He's 3 for 6, no homers or RBIs, but he can hit it out. He's got some pop. The 0-1 pitch popped up this time down the right field line. Davis, and I should say Justice, crossing into foul ground, isn't going to get there. A long foul strike to make it 0-2. The lineup that Minnesota fielded in Game 1 of the World Series had hit 116 home runs during the regular season. And they've hit 2 more home runs in this game. Braves have also hit a couple out. Lonnie Smith and David Justice. 2 down, bases empty. 0-2 the count on Harper. 4-4 tie, top of the 9th inning. Pena stares in and winds. The 0-2 pitch, a little bit outside, I guess. It's 1-2. Crowd thought it was on the corner.
And so did 4 infielders. They were all headed for the dugout.
Pena never shows any emotion until after the inning. And he didn't there. He kicks and fires. There's a chopper up the middle and will get through for a base hit. Harper is aboard with a 2-out single. That one just like Herbeck's back in the 8th inning. Bounced right over second base. And here comes Jarvis Brown. He's hitting in the number 9 hole. The new right fielder.
Tom Kelly decided to come into the World Series with a roster of 16 regular players and 9 pitchers. He's down to Aguilera and Guthrie in the pitching staff. But this time looks like they're going to bring back Jarvis Brown. Maybe we'll see Randy Bush. If he does that, he will be down to 3 regular players. So the extra man on the roster with the pitcher being involved in it is going to pay off here for Tom Kelly.
It will be Randy Bush that he goes with. Now a conference out on the hill. Pena, Bream, Olson, and Pendleton. The hit up the middle by Harper, the 8th of the night for Minnesota. But the Braves are trying to repay the favor. When the Braves were beaten in Minnesota in Game 2, they out-hit the Twins. But Atlanta wasted a terrific outing by Tommy Glavine. Braves trying to win this one despite being out-hit. We'll see what happens in the last of the ninth, but the top of the ninth is not over yet. And Randy Bush is the hitter. During the year, hit .303. The Minnesota bench, Don, might be the best in baseball.
Oh, they have a good one. Look at the blend of some of the people that they give you. Randy Bush can hit the ball out of the park. Larkin can hit the ball out of the park. Then they have the speed of Brown and of Newman. So they have put together a good ball club. No doubt about that.
Here's the stretch by Pena. Pitching to Bush, in the first one is taken for a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1. 2 men are out. Twins with a man at first. That's the go-ahead run. The crowd a little quiet and tense. This game feels like every game played in the National League Championship Series. Every one aside from the 10-3 game, which ironically was Game 3. Here's the pitch. Popped up foul on a play. 0-2. Now the crowd rises up. This is what they did when Pena fanned Shane Mack to close the 8th inning. They hope the magic works again here against Bush. Al Pena with a long look in. Here comes the 0-2 delivery. That's high. A ball, 2 strikes on the hitter. Braves appeared to have this one in the bag, up 4-1. But a homer by Kirby Puckett to lead off the 7th. Then a 2-run homer by Chili Davis in the 8th inning have tied it. The 1-2. Bounced it up there. Ricochets off Olsen to his left, and moving up a base is Harper. He's down to second safely. That ball really skipped in the dirt.
And Olsen may have been crossed up. He's going out to the mound to talk to Al Pena now. It was the same pitch that they got Pagliarulo to chase, but Bush wouldn't go after it.
So another wild pitch charged to Alejandro Pena. It seems it's once a game for him, Don, and usually it's in the late innings. Of course, that's when he pitches, but it's always, it seems, in a critical situation.
It's almost like he's saying there isn't quite enough pressure. Let me throw just a little bit more on.
A base hit would put Minnesota in front. Counts 2-2. Runner at second, 2 down. Pena stops at the belt. His pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Maybe you're right. Maybe he needs that little shot of adrenaline. But I kind of don't like it. We go to the last half of the 9th inning at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. World Series Game 3, all tied 4-4.
I, Jack Rooney of Sound Mind.
Sound mind?
Oh, it's my conscience.
What good is a will, Jack, if your estate plan isn't complete?
What?
You forgot long-term care, Jack.
You mean nursing home care? I'm only 50.
You could need it at any time in your life.
But I have medical insurance.
Doesn't cover it. And long-term care could cost $25,000 or even more a year. So if you're not protected, you could lose the business and your life savings.
Wow, I never realized I could lose so much.
Many independent agents recommend long-term care protection from the CNA insurance companies because CNA has been providing nursing home and long-term care insurance for over 25 years. The kind of experience you'll feel more secure with. CNA, a multi-line insurance group, has over $30 billion in assets, over $9 billion in revenue, $4.5 billion in stockholders' equity, and consistently high ratings.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
Well, you still got a quarter, buddy. Let's go call a professional. Your independent agent.
Ask your independent agent about the CNA insurance companies. CNA, for all the commitments you make.
Drive the good car, though.
Oh, and you drive the clunker.
Oh, yeah.
And your wife drives the Jeep Cherokee.
Right.
Why?
Well, because with the baby and all, I just feel better knowing she's got the four-wheel drive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anti-lock brakes.
But why Jeep Cherokee, not, say, Nissan Pathfinder or Ford Explorer?
Oh, I don't know, because there's just something innate in the name Jeep that just isn't there with anything else.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, I believe you could call it peace of mind.
Jeep Cherokee, another advantage from your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
John Madden here. You know what would make me like baseball even more? No rainouts. That way guys would slide into second and get covered with mud. Now that's exciting. So is the Walker Advantage muffler. It doesn't quit on account of rain. It's the only muffler with Absorbite, a built-in rust fighter. Heck, The Walker Advantage is the most advanced muffler you can buy, so it keeps on performing, even in the snow. Hey, there's an idea. Baseball in the snow.
For your nearest Walker Advantage installer, call 1-800-422-2484.
Every 6 minutes, 10 times an hour, Atlanta's Morning News updates weather and traffic. AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
It's the last half of the ninth inning at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. Dave O'Brien, Don Sutton with you. World Series, game number 3. Atlanta needs to win. Well, that might be it. The Braves know that. Everyone in the ballpark knows it. And here it is, 4-4. As Rafael Belliard starts it for the Atlanta offense. Tommy Gregg will bat next. Pinch hitting for Pena. Then it's the top of the order and Keith Mitchell. Belliard has singled in a run, grounded out to second, and tapped out to short. He is 1 for 3. And here we go. Right-hander Willis fires home and misses upstairs for ball 1. Braves need a base runner. Willis kicks and delivers and misses inside. It's 2-0.
Well, if you're looking for some help, Willis might be the guy to do it. He is one of the guys on their pitching staff that every now and then has trouble throwing strikes. He averages close to 5 walks per 9 innings.
Both bullpens quiet right now. Belliard waits, and the 2-0 pitch. It's taken for a strike knee high to make it 2-1. In the World Series, Belliard 2 for 6, a .333 average, and he's banged in 2 runs. Willis working quickly. The 2-1 home. That's outside, and it's 3-1. It all starts with a base runner. We'll see if Belliard's taking again. Willis wants to throw him a strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That's low, ball 4. He walked him. The winning run is on in the 9th inning for Atlanta. Tommy Gregg is called back now, and Jeff Treadway, a better bunter, is brought up to the on-deck circle. He'll hit here. You know how well Treadway handles the bat. And if he gets 2 strikes on him and they elect to pull off the bunt, of course, he's the best contact hitter Atlanta has. So it'll be Jeff Treadway, who hit .320 during the regular season and is 1 for 3 in the series. Jeff, because of those bone spurs in his hand, has seen only limited duty over the last month. He's going to have surgery to remove them as soon as the World Series is over. They're very painful, but most painful to Treadway, not when he hits, but when he fields.
And also when he tries to check his swing, Dave. If he can go ahead and complete the swing, it doesn't bother him nearly as much. When he checks the swing and tenses up that wrist, they rub against each other.
We'll see how Bobby Cox plays it. Pagliarulo, the third baseman, is in close, expecting a bunt. Here's the pitch. He's squaring. He pops a bunt down the first base line, fielded by Herbeck. He looked at second, fires to first, got the out there. Belliard went diving in on his belly to make sure he was safe at second. So Treadway does his job with the sacrifice bunt. It goes 3-4 on the putout, and down to second in scoring position, Rafael Belliard. He is the game-winning run. Keith Mitchell is the batter with a chance to be the star with 1 swing of the bat. This will be his very first World Series at bat. Belliard walks away from second. 1 out in the 9th. 4-4 tie. And here comes the pitch. It's taken low. 1-0.
And wouldn't it be appropriate if Keith Mitchell were to deliver the game winner? It would have been something we've talked about all year long. A different hero. The marquee guys have done their job to this point. Be nice if one of the unsung ones, one of the young ones, could deliver here.
The set at the belt by Willis, the right-hander's pitch. A strike taken on the outside half. It's 1-1. It's an old cliche. All winning teams use it, but it's true of every winning team that it's a different guy seemingly every night. Mitchell might be that different guy. The right-hand hitter waits at the plate. The stretch in the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's a ball, 2 strikes. If it's not Mitchell, it might be Terry Pendleton.
If it's not Mitchell, we might see Terry Pendleton walk so that they can get to Gant and face the right-hander.
And how many times has Ronnie Gant delivered with a game on the line? The 1-2 pitch. Hit high in the air, deep to left center. Back goes Puckett near the track. He's there, and he makes the catch. Oh, boy. Belliard holds it second. He got under it just a little bit, Don. He hit it a mile in the air, about 350 feet from home plate, but it stayed in the park.
Well, 50,600 thought it was out of here. The 278 others were Twin fans. And you're right, just a little bit of an uppercut swing, and I believe even Keith Mitchell thought he had gotten it.
Will Terry Pendleton get it? Will he get the run in? There are 2 down now. The winning run standing at second. Braves 4, Minnesota 4. And Don, I think you guessed right. They are going to walk him. Harper is holding up his 4 fingers here.
It only makes sense. If you get the kid out who's a right-hander, you're not going to let the veteran switch it or beat you. You're going to force, and we almost got a wild pitch on an intentional walk. You're going to force the right-hander against the right-hander. Go with the book.
Willis nearly threw that one away. Harper with some quick feet had to cut that one off. This one a little better. Ball 2 outside. So Pendleton will be intentionally passed to put runners at first and second. Tom Kelly gets his righty-righty matchup. Ronnie Gant, the on-deck hitter. Gant 0 for 4 tonight. We just saw ball 3. And there's ball 4. Terry Pendleton has been walked. Gant to hit. Let's pause right now for station identification. You're listening to Braves Baseball on AM-750 WSB.
Kofor Brothers in Tucker salutes the miraculous Atlanta Braves. Go Braves! AM-750 WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
Number 5 has been the hero so many times this season. And now the Braves and 50,000 fans are asking Ronnie to do it again. First and second. 2 men out. Winning run at second base and the pitch. There's a chopper down the third base line. Foul. It bounces away. And it's 0-1. Ronnie has grounded a short fly to right, popped to second, and flied out to left. He has 5 playoff RBIs. And in the World Series, he's 4 for 12 with 2 ribbies. He's having an excellent postseason. He waits at the plate. Pendleton at first, Belliard at second. Belliard's the only guy who matters. The 0-1 pitch. Line drive right at the shortstop. That's the end of 9. Out number 3. We are going to extra innings here in Atlanta. Gant hit it hard, but right at Gagne. And after 9 innings at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, it's the Braves 4, Minnesota 4.
Sir, how would you make the all-new Buick LeSabre better for 1992?
LeSabre? The car that's become synonymous with quality?
Yes.
Wow, that's tough.
I know, but use your imagination.
Well, I think safety's important. Make anti-lock brakes available. And give me an airbag, standard equipment.
Well, you read their minds.
And give me the comfort and control of an advanced Dyna Ride suspension. And beautiful new styling.
Of course.
Even more aerodynamic.
That's amazing, sir.
Now, I'd add a large, low lift-over trunk for convenience. Give it a roomier interior. Increase the horsepower in that famous 3800 V6 engine. Make literally hundreds of design improvements. And, of course...
Well, you're cooking now.
Maintain LeSabre's reputation,
yes,
which they've been building for years as one of the truly quality cars ever to venture out on the great American road.
How could you possibly have known all that?
I bought one 2 days ago. Know all about it.
Find out more about the all-new LeSabre for 1992 from your local Buick dealer. The new symbol for quality in America.
Yeah, first one on the block.
Isn't there someone you'd like to call?
Oh, you was such a terror.
Oh, you lie. This week is AT&T Reunion Week, where AT&T customers can call for a special price of 11 cents a minute.
How about the time you chased me down the street in your pajamas?
Monday through Friday from 5 to 11 p.m. It's only 11 cents a minute for AT&T direct dial out-of-state calls within the U.S.
How old was I, too?
So what are you waiting for? Give someone a call this week. AT&T, all you need to reach out.
Does not apply to all AT&T calling plan calls.
How do you stop a common thief? Hire him.
I am a thief, perhaps, but not common. Exceptional.
And the condition of your parole is this job.
As head of security for my old stomping grounds. Rather poetic, don't you think?
Palace Hotel is no stomping ground. We cater to the rich and famous.
So did I.
Look, let's get one thing clear, Mr. Logan. You are not cute, funny, or remotely interesting. One wrong move and I'm sending you back to prison.
Does this mean separate rooms?
Keep your eyes on the Palace Guard, Friday on CBS.
Start your morning with Atlanta's morning news, weather, traffic reports, highlights from Game 3, and a preview of Game 4 of the World Series tomorrow morning, AM-750 WSB.
We're going to the 10th here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, Game 3 of the World Series. Mike Stanton is going to come on and change the defense, and here to come on and rejoin us and hopefully change the way things are standing. Once again, here's Pete Van Wieren.
Okay, thank you, Don. Stanton making his second appearance of the series. He's worked one scoreless inning. This one has been a classic. And Dan Gladden leads off the 10th inning. He is 1 for 4, a triple in the first inning. He scored the first Minnesota run. Stanton's first pitch to Gladden, taken, strike one called, outside corner, 0-1. 4-4 game. 8 hits for the Minnesota Twins. Only 5 hits for Atlanta. Here's the 0-1 on the way. Taken a little bit low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike on Gladden. Chuck Knobloch will follow, and then Kent Herbeck. The stretch by Stanton, the 1-1 pitch on the way. Line drive up the middle. Base hit for Dan Gladden to lead off the 10th inning. Hit number 9 of the game for the Minnesota Twins. And Gladden, who was hitless in the first 2 games, has come up with a couple of hits in this one.
And the scouting report on Dan Gladden is he likes anything up in the strike zone. Stanton tried to drop a breaking ball down and in, but left it spinning about belt high.
That base hit will get the Braves bullpen up again. Mark Wohlers up for the second time tonight. And the pesky second baseman, Chuck Knobloch, will be the hitter. He has really hurt the Braves in this series. Little stocky guy, and he reminds you a lot of the Wally Backmans and Lenny Dykstras and players like that always seem to have success against Atlanta. Casey Candell, another one.
And this puts the Twins in a situation that they may or may not use, Pete, the sacrifice. Normally, an American League club will probably sacrifice less than 50 times a year. The Twins did it 44 times. That's half as many times as the Braves did it successfully.
He's 1 for 3 tonight with a sacrifice fly. The pitch coming. He is squaring. He takes a strike at the knees, 0-1.
And you can watch and tell guys who are not used to doing it. A lot of them take some awkward stances for sacrifice bunts. That time Knobloch wasn't sure to square all the way around or do the half turn.
The pitcher due up 5th in this inning, and the last 2 remaining members of the bullpen, Mark Guthrie and Rick Aguilera, going to work now for Minnesota. Nobody out, runner at first. 4-4 game in the top of the 10th. Stanton comes set, the 0-1 pitch, hit and run this time as a chopper towards second, fielded by Lemke. He'll throw on to first in time. He reached out and tried to tag Dan Gladden going by. Couldn't do it. And settles for the 1 out. Knobloch making contact there, gets the runner down to second. And that'll bring up Kent Herbeck. Herbeck 1 for 4 in this one. He had a single back in the 8th inning. Kirby Puckett moves on deck. Here's Here's the stretch and the pitch. Breaking ball in for a called strike. Boy, here's a situation where if you can get Ken Herbeck out, you can walk Kirby Puckett and force Tom Kelly's hand. He would have to use a pinch hitter and go to his bullpen again. And that bullpen for the Minnesota Twins, only two guys left out there. Aguilera, their closer, and the left-hander Guthrie. The pitch to Herbeck. Fastball strike in the inside corner, 0-2. One out, a runner at second, tied at 4 in the top half of the 10th inning. Gladden gets his lead down at second. Here's the stretch by Stanton. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Strike 3 called. Fastball inside corner. So 2 men are out. The runner is at second base. First base is open. And Kirby Puckett is going to be intentionally walked. Al Newman has come to the on-deck circle. He's one of only 2 remaining pinch hitters for the Minnesota Twins. And the switch-hitting infielder will come on to pinch hit for Carl Willis.
See, this is a situation Tom Kelly doesn't get into too often in the American League season because you really don't have to, you don't worry about the pitcher. All he's going to do is pitch and go sit down, pitch and go sit down. If you use a pinch hitter, it's to get the matchups that you want, righty against a lefty, and he's really got himself now where it's to the Braves' advantage.
Yes, he's used so many people that after Newman comes in as a pinch hitter, his only remaining pinch hitter will be Sorrento, a left-handed first baseman. His only 2 remaining relief pitchers are Guthrie and Aguilera. Compare that to the Braves, who still have Cabrera, Willard, Blauser, Gregg, and Hunter left.
Also, he has himself now in a situation, Pete. Nobody wants this to happen, but if Brian Harper were to get hurt, he's in big trouble.
Who catches?
No, that's exactly right. You have to put somebody back there who is not used to doing it.
Well, now Newman is sitting down and Sorrento is coming out.
Twice he's played mind games, sending one guy, just trying to maybe get Bobby Cox to tip his hand. But both times he's gone back to the other guy who was in the dugout.
Paul Sorrento is a left-hand hitter, done a lot of minor league service. Played briefly with the Twins in 89, 90, and again this year. He hit 13 home runs at AAA this year, 4 with Minnesota. In 26 games of the Twins, a .255 average. So it is the left-handed Sorrento facing the left-hander Stanton. Runners first and second, 2 men out. In the top of the 10th inning, here's the stretch and the pitch on the way, and Sorrento takes a breaking ball strike at the knees, 0-1.
You might wonder about the lefty against the lefty matchup. Well, this season, Sorrento hit .214 against righties, but he was 3 out of 6, or 3 out of 5 when Tom Kelly left him out there against the lefties.
The runners lead from first and second. Here's the stretch and the 0-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Everybody on their feet in Atlanta, wanting to see Mike Stanton get out of this mess in the top of the 10th. Puckett, the runner at first. Gladden, the runner at second. 2 men out. Paul Sorrento awaits the 0-2 pitch from Mike Stanton. Here it comes. Low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Due up in the bottom half of the 10th inning for Atlanta. David Justice, Sid Bream, Greg Olson. Puckett off first, Gladden off second, the stretch, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball, strike 3. Stanton records his second strikeout, and the Minnesota Twins are retired in the top half of the 10th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. We go to the bottom half of the 10th, still tied, 4-4.
I hate the sneaking around, the games.
Lucinda Sullivan's cheating on her husband.
You make me so happy.
But someone's about to start cheating her.
They know everything about us.
What are you talking about?
The blackmailers.
In this game, it's either cheat
You gave him the money? You shouldn't have given him the money.
or be cheated.
She was in on it.
Now we're gonna have to pay.
Kill him! What are you waiting for? We have to kill him!
Blackmail, a USA World Premiere movie starring Susan Blakely and Mac Davis. Tomorrow night at 9, 8 Central on USA.
If you're looking for a way to beat those old car blues, your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Right now is the right time for year-end savings on selected 91 Isuzu cars, trucks, and sport utility vehicles. Like the famous rugged and roomy Isuzu Trooper. Year-end priced at up to $1,800 off. Or save up to $500 on the Go Anywhere, Carry Anything Isuzu Rodeo 4x4.
The right Isuzu for you.
For sporty styling and high performance, save up to $1,800 on the sleek Isuzu Impulse RS. Or save up to $1,800 on an exciting Isuzu Stylus XS with a Lotus Tune suspension. And for power and payload with car-like comfort, save up to $1,600 on an Isuzu pickup. Get the right Isuzu now. Hurry, the Isuzu for You sale ends soon.
Impulse Stylus Pickup Trooper. Rodeos too. Your Isuzu dealer's got the right Isuzu for you.
Based on factory-to-dealer incentives, which may vary by model. Actual prices will vary. See dealer for details.
Remember family, friends, and growing up.
Mom, I may have already met a girl.
When will you know for sure?
The Washington Post says Brooklyn Bridge is probably the best news series of any kind on any network.
It's a girl. For you.
Okay, I admit it. I'm interested.
And USA Today gives Brooklyn Bridge 4 stars, calling it a knockout.
I'm not somebody to push myself into other people's business.
Oh, come on. Just this once.
Brooklyn Bridge, Friday on CBS.
If you enjoy seeing an in-law attacked by a Doberman, you'll love the Hometown Radio Show with McKee. 4 to 7 every afternoon on AM-750 WSB. We go to the bottom half of the 10th inning, still tied in Game 3, 4-4. Left-hander Mark Guthrie becomes pitcher number 6 of the night for Minnesota. He's making his second appearance of this World Series. He pitched 2/3 of an inning in his other outing, didn't allow anything but a walk. He replaces Carl Willis, who did his job, going 2 innings, allowing no runs or hits. He walked a couple. During the regular season, Guthrie, 7-5, a 4.32 earned run average, 41 appearances, 12 starts, 2 saves. David Justice leads off, hits the first pitch high in the air along the line and left. Dan Gladden coming over and crossing into foul territory, can't get it. A little bit of unfamiliarity with how much room he had in foul territory.
If you've been to the stadium here, Pete, fans know that down that left field line, there's a part of the stands that juts out right near the foul line. Then it opens up. You can see him try to sneak a peek as he crossed the line. And when he got there, he thought he was right near it. He was just reaching for the ball, but he had 10 or 12 feet to play with.
So Justice gets a swing on the house. He's 1 for 4 tonight. He had a home run to lead off the 4th inning. The pitch to him bounced foul down the first base side. It's 0-2. Brian Hunter has moved to the on-deck circle to bat for Sid Bream. 4-4, bottom of the 10th. Nobody sitting down right now. Here's the wind by Guthrie. The left-hander's pitch on the way. Misses high for a ball, 1-2. Guthrie, a native of Buffalo, New York, lives in Venice, Florida. Pitched his college baseball at LSU. The lefty winds, and the 1-2 pitch on the way to Justice. Breaking ball just missed outside. 2-2. Braves had a 4-1 lead in this game. Minnesota came back to tie it up. We're now in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Nobody on or out. Still tied at 4. The 2-2 pitch to Justice. He swings, sends a fly ball left field fair this time. Gladden will have no problem with it. He's under it. He's got it. And that's out number 1 in the bottom of the 10th. And now Brian Hunter will come on to pinch hit for Sid Bream. Hunter, who had some dramatic hits during the regular season as well as in the playoffs, he is 1 for 7 in this World Series. He has driven in 1 run. biggest game in the playoffs, Game 7. With a home run, a double, and 3 RBIs. The wind by Guthrie, and the pitch on the way to Brian Hunter. He swings at the first one. Hits it foul off to the left, 0-1. This has been a classic battle between two very good baseball teams. The 0-1 pitch on the way. Hunter takes just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And normally, a manager doesn't make that much of a difference in a ball game except to put in pinch hitters every now and then and to change pitchers. But this has been a manager's ball game.
Here's the 1-1 now to Hunter. Low and outside with a fastball. 2-1. Yes, the wheels have really been turning in this one. Here's the 2-1 delivery. A little check swing tap off to the third base side of the mound. They let it roll foul. And the count even now, 2-2 on Hunter.
Smart move by Guthrie, letting that kick foul. It could have very easily kicked and stayed fair, but he had no chance to throw out Hunter.
Greg Olson waits in the on-deck circle. Not only a classic battle, but such an important game. Nobody has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a World Series. That's where the Braves would be if the Minnesota Twins win this one. A victory by Atlanta gives the Braves a chance to even things up tomorrow night. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Guthrie winds, and a 2-2 pitch on the way to Hunter. He swings and hits one right back to the mound. Nice play by Guthrie on to first in time. 2 down. And now Greg Olson. Olson 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out twice and walked twice. He has scored 1 run, and one of those walks came with the bases loaded, so he has his first RBI of this World Series. Batting here with 2 outs and the bases empty. The pitch on the way to Greg Olson is high and outside, ball 1. Erickson, West, Leach, Bedrosian, Willis, and now Guthrie. The pitch. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball that was on the inner part of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike to Olson. Bottom half of the 10th inning. Crowd of 50,878. And they've been on the edge of their seats just about all night long. Here's the 1-1 to Olson. He takes a strike. Off-speed breaking ball inside corner. Guthrie ahead of the count now, 1-2. Mark Lemke waiting on deck. Here's the wind, the 1-2 pitch on the way. Inside with a fastball, 2-2. Look in by Guthrie, and the 2-2 pitch to Olson. He swings and lines one into left center field. Is going to fall for a base hit. Puck it over quickly. Olson taking a big turn. Now is going to try for 2. Here comes the throw. He is safe. Greg Olson with a 2-out double. Could it possibly get any better for a player in just his second year in the major leagues?
No, and the Braves would not be here were it not for Greg Olson. The job he has done defensively, the big clutch hits, they get overlooked a lot because of the job everybody else does. And here, he caught Kirby Puckett reading the scouting report. It's Greg Olson. He has catcher speed. He only hesitated for a second. He kicked it into a gear he didn't know he had. Just beat the tag at second.
The Tomahawks are out with Olson down at second and 2 men out. Lemke the hitter. Marcus 1 for 4, a single back in the second. Here's the stretch by Guthrie. The pitch on the way to Lemke. Taken low, ball 1.
Pete, there was some great rotation on the umpires there, too. The second base umpire, Rick Reed, had to go out into center field, but Ed Montague from third over, right in position to make the call. Replay showed it was the right call.
Olson getting a very safe lead down at second. Here's the look back by Guthrie. And the 1-0 pitch to Mark Lemke. Taken high, ball 2. Rafael Belliard on deck. That hit, by the way, by Greg Olson, the first Atlanta hit since the 5th inning. And the first off the Minnesota bullpen tonight. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Lemke takes. It's high. Ball 3. 3-0. Guthrie again comes set. And a 3-0 pitch on the way to Lemke. Taken at the knees for a called strike. 3-1. Guthrie to the belt. Here's the 3-1 pitch to Lemke. It is outside. Ball 4. Lemke walks. Runners now at first and second. Back to the dugout goes Rafael Belliard. And here comes Jeff Blauser out to pinch hit.
Bobby Cox has used his roster tonight much better than Tom Kelly, and that's why he gets to this situation with the winning run at second, and he still has Blauser available.
It'll be Jeff Blauser pinch hitting for Rafael Belliard. Runners at first and second, 2 men out. Blauser 0 for 2 in this World Series. You told me, Don Sutton, that it's easier playing in these games than it is watching them. I never played one of these, but I believe you.
Oh, I'm telling you, it's much easier being out in the center of the diamond because all you have to do is worry about catching the ball, throwing the ball, and hitting the ball. Up here, you can do nothing about any of those, but you still have to worry about them.
Lemke at first, Olson at second. 4-4 our score in the bottom half of the 10th with 2 outs. Guthrie comes to the belt. And the pitch on the way to Jeff Blauser. He takes a strike at the knees. 0-1. Francisco Cabrera moves on deck. Now Harper out to the mound. He and Guthrie will talk it over. Nobody warming for Minnesota. The only man left in their bullpen is Aguilera. He is used to close out games when the Twins have the lead. They came into this World Series carrying just 9 pitchers. And they've had to use 6 of them tonight. Here's the stretch by Guthrie. And the 0-1 pitch to Blauser. Low with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Olson off second. Lemke off first. Guthrie to the belt. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that's outside. Ball 2, 2-1. Sit still, Don.
I can't.
A 2-1 pitch due to Jeff Blauser. The stretch by Guthrie. The 2-1 pitch on the way. Blauser swings and lines one foul down the right side up into the seats. And the count is even 2-2. And here come the Tomahawks again. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Guthrie to the belt. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Blauser. He swings, little looping liner out toward second. Knobloch back in the outfield. Grass to grab it for out number 3. And we continue into the Atlanta night after 10 innings. In game 3, still tied. Atlanta 4, Minnesota 4.
So you love the new place, but it doesn't come with appliances. Well, no problem. Sears Brand Central has a GE washer for $377 and matching dryer just $277. GE, good name brand. And this is the lowest Sears has ever sold them for. But it's just till Saturday. So hasten, if you will, to Sears Brand Central, the brands you want at the store you trust. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico.
Texaco Technology Report. The problem. As cars get older, they may need higher octane to perform like they used to. The Texaco solution: develop a patented octane control technology in System 3 gasoline to help control increased octane appetite while cleaning an engine and to perform in every single octane grade. Texaco System 3 gasoline. It's that good.
It's a hectic day, and you've got overnight packages to get out.
We deliver.
Well, don't put on your coat. Grab the phone. Call Express Mail Service, and we'll pick them up for you.
We deliver.
For that game against the Dodgers, when it was Kent Merker who walked in extra innings to win the game, and were it not for that odd game, who knows where we'd all be on this lovely evening. New World Series record. The Twins have used 22 players in this game, Pete tells us. Stanton ready to go to work, and his pitch is a fast strike right through there. And Greg Gagne has been here throughout the night. He's 0 for 4. Harper will be next. Boy, he's a good-looking hitter. 1 out, nobody aboard. Pop foul back. 0-2 is the count. The wheels of commerce in Atlanta are going to grind exceedingly slowly tomorrow. A lot of people are still up.
I hope there are some very understanding parents, teachers, and employers.
I think you got a better chance of the first two than with the last one. 0-2 is the count. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch. He chased a terrible ball and struck out. Strikeout number 3 in this game for Mike Stanton, and the 12th by Brave pitchers. Here's Brian Harper. Be careful here. Harper has reached on an error. He has singled. He came on in the middle innings of the game. He had 10 home runs during the regular season, and you figure that's what he's thinking about now. The pitch. A little bit outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Braves had a 4-1 lead, but it's 4-4 now in the 11th. The Twins have left 5 men in the last 3 innings. The stretch pitch. Swung, popped him up into short right field. Justice comes on. He's there, and the inning is over. Stanton gets him. 1, 2, 3 in the 11th. We go to the bottom half of the inning. Still tied, 4-4.
Harry, what are you doing?
I'm hooking up our new phone system. You know, we're at the moment.
Thanks. 4-4, bottom of the 11th.
You get the feeling that this is the kind of ball game that whoever wins it, it could catapult them on to winning it, and whoever loses it could do just the opposite, regardless of which team.
The 1-0 breaking ball, pop foul back and out of play. It's 1-1. Well, if Minnesota wins it, boy, they are in terrific shape. They got 2 more games at home, 2 more games here to clinch it. They'd be up 3-0 for Atlanta. It's really a life or death situation, I think. The wind on the pitch. Swung line right at the second baseman. 1 down. That ball hit right on the nose, but right at Knobloch. So Cabrera is retired, 1 away, and here's Mitchell, who flirted with a home run. Back in the 9th, he chased Puckett onto the warning track in left center. So Mitchell stands in there. Terry Pendleton will be on deck. The left-hander into the wind, and he delivers. Breaking ball, home run cut, but he missed it, 0-1. 4-4, 11th inning. Again, the wind on the pitch. Swung and missed again. That looked like a fastball. It's 0-2. Boy, these guys' bullpen has been outstanding again. 0-2 the count, the wind, and the pitch. Just missed the outside corner with a change, a ball, and 2 strikes. Pendleton waits on deck. Mark Wohlers in the Atlanta bullpen. The wind and the pitch. He got him with a breaking ball. Mitchell way out in front. Swung feebly at it. That's the second out of the inning. The first strikeout for Guthrie, and here's Pendleton. He'll turn around and hit from the right side. He doesn't have as much power as a right-hand hitter. But hopefully with 2 out here, he can make a liar out of me. 2 out, nobody aboard. Who's going to blink in this game? Neither team yet, as we've gone to extra inning. Pendleton stands in with 2 out. Got 3 into the wind and the pitch. Fastball, he had a home run cut, and he lines it foul into the seats. And the fans battle for a World Series souvenir, and it's 0-1. Two out, nobody aboard. Again, the wind and the delivery. Swung, hit foul again to the right, and Guthrie quickly out in front. It's 0-2 on Pendleton, who is 0 for 3 tonight with a couple of walks. Ronnie Gant hopes to get a swing here in the 11th inning. He waits to hit next, but there are 2 out. Guthrie gets ready, and the 0-2 pitch just missed the inside corner with a fastball. It's 1-2. He ran it up and in on Pendleton and just missed the strike zone. Again, the wind and the pitch. Inside with yet another fastball. It's 2-2. One of those foul balls that Pendleton hit, I think the first one struck a fan, and the Brave security forces are checking all that out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The wind and the pitch. Curve hit sharply to first. Herbeck has it, and 1-2-3. The inning comes to a close, and nothing doing in the 11th for Atlanta. No hits, no runs, no errors, none left. We move on to the 12th inning in a tie 4-4 game.
The Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company salutes the Braves, 1991 National League champions.
Well, sure, Holt started dealing and soon became the feeling that things would start to change in just a while. But who would have thought that Clavin would have the season he's having? And down at the launching pad, baseball was back in style. I'm talking baseball. Justice and Cabrera talking baseball. Terry, what a fella. Gant and Bream with Payne, you're getting the save. And soon the tomahawk became the rage. I'm talking baseball. Baseball and the Braves.
Congratulations, Braves, on capturing the National League pennant. And from the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company and all of Georgia, best of luck in the series. Tomahawk this town to the title.
Hi there. This is Phil Singer with another installment of Sports Quest. Today, we're at the Alpine Corral for the 8th annual Snow Ski Rodeo. And here comes world champion Brahma Bull ski jumper.
We head to the 12th, still tied at 4. Ludlow Porch will follow shortly, but before he does, to kick off the 12th, once again, here's Dave O'Brien.
New pitcher in the game, Don. That's Mark Wohlers. He is the 39th player to be used tonight. That is a new World Series record for most players used in a World Series game. 39. Like managing school, isn't it?
We're going to get to a point where they may have to play with 7, and we're going to toss a coin about 3 a.m.
Randy Bush will lead it off from that famed number 9 spot. That's where Chili Davis cracked a 2-run homer in the 8th to tie the game. First pitch to Bush is inside and low for ball 1. 4-9-1 for Minnesota, 4-6-1 for Atlanta. The wind and throw. That's low.
You know, it's kind of funny watching the people down behind the screen with the radar guns. When the other pitchers come through, they watch them. But when Mark Wohlers cuts loose, they all slide up in their seat and take a little bit closer look at those red numbers.
The right-hander's pitch popped him up. Shallow center field. Gant was out. He's coming in. Ronnie's got plenty of time. And he clinches it for the out. One gone in the top half of the 12th inning for the Minnesota Twins, and Dan Gladden is up. He'll be hitting for the 6th time tonight. He started the game with a disputed triple right between Gant and Justice, who crossed like ships in the night back in the first inning. I think David was very lucky not to be charged with his third error of the playoffs there. He went for a triple. Gladden scored on a sac fly from Chuck Knobloch. He also singled in the 10th. The first pitch to him is cut on and missed for strike one. Gladden now 1 for 10 to 100 batting average with a stolen base in the series. In his last World Series, 1987, Gladden hit .290 with 7 RBIs in 7 games. Takes a pitch outside. It's 1-1. That was against St. Louis. Gladden, an all-out type player, very aggressive hitter. Doesn't like to walk. He's got good speed, and he'll run when he reaches. The 1-1 pitch. Downstairs, it's 2-1. Knobloch on deck. Then Herbeck, if anyone reaches here. A 4-4 game in the 12th. The right-hander from Massachusetts into the wide and his 2-1 home. There's a hard-hit ground ball through the right side hole. Lemke dove, couldn't make the play. Base hit for Gladden. He's on for the 3rd time tonight. His 3rd hit. A 1-out single. He ripped it.
He stole 15 this year. He could do that. Terry Pendleton coming in to remind Wohlers and Olsen of that possibility. But we have already seen that Tom Kelly is not afraid to put a play on with his rookie second baseman batting. He's already executed the hit and run with him once tonight.
Well, the kid's only struck out 40 times all year. That's in over 600 plate appearances. Talking about Knobloch. His sacrifice fly in the first got the Twins on the board. He has since grounded out, popped to first, singled, and bounced to second. That makes him 4 for 10 in the series. He went for a 3-hit night in game 1. The go-ahead run on at first. Wohlers stands off the rubber. Knobloch out of Houston, Texas. That's where he was born. Played his college ball at Texas A&M. A fine contact hitter. He waits on the right side of the plate. Here's the stretch by Wohlers. He throws over to first, and Gladden dives in safe. Wohlers, the 4th pitcher to be used tonight by Atlanta. The Twins have used 6. He sets at the belt. And the pitch to Knobloch. There's a bouncing ball to second. Oh, booted by Lemke, rolls into right field. Gladden on his way to third. Runners on the corners. 1 out and a huge error by Mark Lemke. A double play ball, and he booted it.
I mean, that was an easy double play ball. That ball got to Lemke so quickly. Looks like the only thing that could have happened was it had a little side spin, and as it kicked off of the grass is starting to get a little bit wet. It just kicked right by him. That was as good a double play pitch as you will ever see made, as good a double play ball as he'll have a look at.
So with 1 down and Herbeck the hitter, men are on the corners. An error to Mark Lemke. And Bobby Cox is going to make a move to his bullpen, it would appear. He's got a left-hand hitter up there. He's got Ken Merker throwing. And Bobby taking his time, making his way out to the hill. The Braves have made some key mistakes and overcome them in the playoffs, including the National League Championship Series. But here in the 12th inning, Mark Lemke did not do a good job of squaring up on a double play ground ball by Chuck Knobloch. He booted it into right field, and the call is going to the bullpen. And so manager Bobby Cox has decided to make a pitching change. The new Atlanta pitcher, left-hander Kent Mercker.
Tell me, sir.
The Braves were chasing the Dodgers, and Kent Mercker had combined with two other pitchers to throw a no-hitter. That in his role as fifth starter. Had a couple other effective performances as a starter. Bobby Cox, as the Braves neared a series with Los Angeles, said Kent Mercker is going to be our man to strike out Darryl Strawberry. That's what we're going to use him for when the situation comes up in the Dodgers series. He's going to be a reliever for the rest of the year. And he was. And the crowd and all of us here in the broadcast booth and the Atlanta Braves can consider the same situation here. Ken Hrbek, for all intents, is what Darryl Strawberry was to the Dodgers. He is what Ken Hrbek is to the Minnesota Twins.
A little bit more difficult to strike out. He only struck out 48 times this year, and in about 120 at-bats against lefties. They only got him 19 times. 284 against righties, 281 against lefties, so he's a little bit tougher.
He's 1 for 5 with a single. He struck out his last time, and the pitch misses inside, ball 1. Good speed on the bases for Minnesota. Knobloch at first, Gladden at third. The outfield playing deep. So a high fly ball to the outfield should get the run in and would give the Twins a 5-4 lead here in the 12th inning. One man out.
A little bit of an advantage for Knobloch. Hunter is a little behind him, so he'll get a little bit of a jump to get the second.
Mercker sets on the 1-0 pitch. Fouled away, a little chopper off to the right. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Minnesota, 4 runs on 10 hits. For the Braves, 4 runs on 6 hits. They've committed 2. And Mark Lemke's boot, will have to see where that sits in history. His error on the certain double play grounder by Knobloch would have gotten Wohlers out of the inning. Mercker stretches, runner going from first, and it's fouled back to the screen. Knobloch was on the run.
Braves caught a break there because Knobloch had that stolen completely. And one of the reasons you would send a guy like him is because Hrbek is also a guy who hits into a lot of double plays. This year, 15 times. He doesn't run well, and only his fouling that away caused the Braves not to have runners at second and third and no chance of a double play.
Hrbek does weigh 253 pounds, and he runs like it. But he also hits a ton. The stretch runner going, the pitch is in for a strike. He got him. He got him looking. Strike 3 on Hrbek. There are 2 down. Oh, is he angry? Shouting back at Drew Coble. The pitch was high, but Coble punched him out. And Braves fans should consider that the get back, I guess, because it was Coble who ruled Hrbek did not push Ronnie Gant off the bag in Game 2.
Decision here is a simple one. I don't care who you bring in. What Knobloch did stealing that is he has taken the bat out of Kirby Puckett's hands. Pitcher spot due up next. So somebody is going to have, a pitcher's going to have to hit with the bases loaded. Whoever comes in out of the bullpen, because there's no way they're going to pitch to Kirby Puckett.
Well, the man coming in from the Atlanta bullpen is none other than Jim Clancy. With runners at second and third, Knobloch running on the called strike 3. It's Jim Clancy on to try to preserve this tie game. It's 4-4 in the 12th inning. And the crowd reacted as they have whenever Jim Clancy has come into the game for the last month or so, and that's with disbelief.
Well, he's had some good ones and he's had some bad ones, and right now all he has to do is to not throw a wild pitch while he intentionally walks Kirby Puckett and get a pitcher out is all that he has to do.
He'll be facing Puckett here, who has struck out, fly to right, homered in the 7th, struck out again in the 8th, and was intentionally walked in the 10th inning.
We've talked about a lot of the things that the designated hitter does. Right there, Knobloch's idea is a good one, but you have to think a little bit further ahead, and that's obviously what he was not doing. If Hrbek strikes out, number one, if you stay at first, you keep the hole open if he hits it over there. But if he strikes out and you stay at first, then you force the Braves to make a decision on Kirby Puckett, probably pitch to him with runners at first and third. But by stealing second, that opens up first base. And if you know who's batting in the lineup behind Puckett, it's the pitcher. So if it's not a pleasant situation, but of all the unpleasant ones, this is the best thing the Braves could hope for.
Second and third, but 2 out. A base hit drives in 2. Nobody has dared go home. It's been that kind of game. It's been an amazing game in many respects with all the players used. Clancy is the 40th man to enter the game.
Well, some questions have been asked of Bobby Cox during the playoffs and the series, like bunting, like starting Charlie Liebrandt. There is absolutely no question, head and shoulders. He has managed his roster better tonight than his counterpart, Tom Kelly.
They will intentionally walk Puckett. Olson holding out 4 fingers. And there's ball 1 outside intentionally. The intentional pass to Puckett will load up the bases. But look who has to hit.
Rick Aguilera.
This is the second time Kirby has been intentionally passed. There's ball 2.
I hope Aguilera's warm because he's going to pitch when this is over.
And he'll come into the game as the 7th pitcher that Tom Kelly will have used.
Let me tell you what Jim Clancy's doing that I like. He is coming set and cutting the ball loose, not just lobbing it. Simple reason for that is that the most important pitch he's going to make tonight is the next one. So I've never understood how pitchers can just play ante over when you walk a guy and then expect to come back and throw hard on the next one. Smart move to go ahead and gun it with your natural delivery.
Good point. It loaded the bases intentionally. Puckett down to first. And Rick Aguilera will do the hitting and come on and do the pitching. Now remember, Aguilera does have some experience because of his years with the New York Mets. He does have some experience hitting, and he did not do a bad job, a .203 career average.
Last time he was up to bat was here in Atlanta against Mark Eichhorn, July 20th, 1989. He was 0 for 1, 3 homers during his career. But you would rather have him hitting right now than Shane Mack or Paul Sorrento or anybody else in the lineup.
He's a right-hand hitter, a twin at every base. 12th inning, 2 out, and the pitch on the way. It's low for ball 1. A 4-4 game. Jim Clancy pitching to a pitcher. That first one was in the dirt. Puckett at first, Knobloch at second, Gladden at third, 2 away. And the stretch by Jim Clancy. The 1-0 pitch. A strike on the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. For Atlanta in the last of the 12, Ronnie Gant, David Justice, and Brian Hunter. Aguilera wades back in and waves the bat. Clancy sets. Eyes Gladden at third in the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, hit deep to center, going back Ronnie Gant, but he has room, and he makes the catch. Boy, Aguilera got a good poke with that swing. He sent Gant back, but Ronnie was equal to it, and we go to the last half of the 12th inning as the Twins leave the bases loaded. After 11 and a half, Braves 4, Minnesota 4.
Brothers in Tucker. AM-750, WSB, Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic station.
We say good morning to you. And Ronnie Gant, David Justice, and Brian Hunter will bat against Rick Aguilera, who during the regular season saved 42 games for the Minnesota Twins. Probably the best reliever in the American League. He is 5 for 5 in saved chances in the postseason. He has already saved 2 in the World Series for Minnesota. If the Atlanta Braves win this game, it will be looked upon as one of the all-time great victories for this franchise. Lose, and it will probably be looked at as the death blow in the 1991 World Series. Braves down 2 games. But a win here changes everything, with John Smoltz going later on tonight at 8:03 in Game 4 against Jack Morris with a chance to even it up. But the Braves have to score here in the last half of the 12th inning. But what a game it has been.
Anything happened while I was out?
No.
I went to get some coffee and peanuts. I'm starving.
Yeah, you like the rest of us had dinner about 8 hours ago. We're still here playing baseball. And there's still tomahawk chopping, but the crowd has been a little reluctant to make too much noise. It's just been so tense. Ronnie Gant leads it off against Aguilera. The bearded right-hander to go to work. Ronnie is 0 for 5. And the first pitch is on the way home. He swings. It's a high fly ball to center. Routine play for Puckett. He's got to come in a bit and puts it away. One pitch, and one man is out. It brings to the plate David Justice. His home run in the 4th inning touched off such a celebration here, giving the Braves a 2-1 lead at the time. It was as loud in here, even without a dome on the building, as it was at any point in Minnesota in the Homer Dome. It hurt your ears. David didn't mind. That was his only hit. He's 1 for 5 in the game with an RBI. 3 for 11 in the series. Aguilera's first pitch to him. Misses outside, pops out of the glove of Harper. 41 players used in the game. Last half of the 12th inning. A crowd of 50,878 watching here live. The pitch. Cut on and miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to David Justice. Brian Hunter on deck, so the Braves have the men who can win it with a swing. During the regular season, David hit 21 out of the park. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a line drive, base hit to right field. David Justice is on with a solid rope single in the 12th inning. That's the winning run. Can the Braves move them across? Here's Brian Hunter. Braves have left 10 men stranded so far tonight. The Twins have left 10 men stranded since the end of the 6th inning. That's how many chances they've had to score. Here's Brian, who has 1 at bat. He's grounded back to the mound. Makes him 1 for 8 in the series. He does have an RBI. Right-hander against right-hander here. Justice being held at first by Herbeck. The outfield very deep all the way around. They play Hunter to pull, of course. So they give him that right field line and about an acre of green grass. Throw over to first, and David jumps back.
You mentioned how deep they are. They're conceding the single, but what they want to do is play back deep enough to cut off the double. They figure it's going to take a couple of singles to beat him, but 1 double would drive David Justice home.
A home run would send us all home absolutely delighted. Another throw over there, and again Justice gets in. 4 runs, 10 hits, an error for the Twins. 4 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Braves. Mark Lemke has got to be feeling more relieved than anyone that his big error did not haunt the Braves. A run did not score. Here's the pitch. That's taken low. 1 man out, runner at first for Atlanta. World Series game number 3 has extended into the next day. Today, however, does not count as a doubleheader. But this is free baseball. Anytime you get extra innings, right, Don? It's free baseball.
Free baseball.
Don's favorite 4-letter word, free.
If it's for me.
Hunter waves the bat in a little circle over his head. Here comes the pitch. That's downstairs, 2-0. Rosen twins in a 4-4 knot. Last half of the 12th inning. Aguilera takes a little walk out behind the mound. Now he toes the rubber and looks in. Justice getting a very short lead at first. He's running. The pitch is looped down the right field line and fouled. And David was halfway down to third base when that ball touched down.
Bobby Cox turned him loose, played a little hit and run. And if Hunter could have blooped that one just inside the line, David would have come home, scored standing, and we'd be headed for the house.
Instead, it's a 2-1 count now. Ryan looking down at Jimmy Williams, the third base coach, as he zips through the signals. Pat Corrales, 1 foot in the box at first. Then Justice leads away. And again, the set by Aguilera. The pitch popped him up high in the air over second. In shallow center, backing up its Knobloch. The second baseman calls for it and puts it away. 2 down. So it brings up Greg Olson, who ripped a 2-out double in the 10th inning. And I think everybody in the ballpark thought the same thing. The Braves will be going to Game 4, trailing only 2 games to 1. But Olson was stranded out there along with Mark Lemke. And we went to 11, still tied. Olson has walked twice. Once with the bases loaded, that netted him an RBI in the 5th inning. He's also grounded to short and to third. And, of course, the double, making him 3 for 10 in the World Series. Justice is the winning run, but he's still on at first, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Caught the outside edge. 0-1. So many players used. Olson waiting at the plate. Aguilera's 0-1 pitch. Fouled upstairs. 0-2. 12 pitchers used in this game. 7 of them by Minnesota. The tough right-hander, Rick Aguilera, gets back on top of the mound. Tom Kelly and Bobby Cox managing this one like it's their last game instead of only Game 3. But the Braves desperately have to have it. Justice running, and the pitch is outside. The throw down to second will be a little late, and off the bag, and David Justice has it stolen. He is in scoring position. David got a good jump for the second time off of Aguilera and has a steal.
And that makes it even harder for Harper, who has had a difficult time throwing out base runners anyway. They were successful over 80% of the time off him this year.
Remember, it was in the top of the 9th inning, Game 6 in Pittsburgh. Greg Olson hitting, 2 down. Ronnie Gant was at second after stealing, and Olson doubled down the third base line. That was the game-winning run. Can Greg do it again? 2 men out. A 1-2 pitch due Greg Olson. Justice at second. 4-4 in the 12th. And here comes the pitch. Outside. 2-2. Greg has 11 hits in the postseason. He has been among the hottest Braves. He and Ronnie Gant really have been carrying the offense. Counts even up 2-2. Justice gets a short lead away from second. He'll score on a single. Here's the pitch. That's low. 3-2. The crowd here hanging on every single pitch. And millions around the world doing the same thing as they tune in. Aguilera gets his sign from Harper. Counts full, 3-2. Here comes the pitch. Taken low for ball 4. He walked him. Braves have runners at first and second with 2 down. Atlanta has left 10 men stranded on base tonight.
Can you name me a man on a Braves roster who would rather get a base hit and end it right here more than Mark Lemke?
No, not after that boot he made that would have got Atlanta out of the inning in the 12th in the top half of this frame. It did not hurt, but you know inside Mark Lemke, who takes so much pride in his defense, you know it hurt him. A base hit wins it. Mark is 1 for 4 with a walk. He singled back in the second. He bats left-handed against Aguilera, who stretches and pitches. Foul back. Good rip by Lemke, but to the screen, and it's 0-1. Mark 1 for 7 in the World Series. He's a 1983 Notre Dame graduate. Notre Dame High School in Utica, New York. The little second baseman waits. Here comes the pitch. Just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Against right-hand pitching during the regular season, Mark only a .219 hitter. Olson at first, Justice at second. 12th inning of World Series Game 3 in the pitch. Line drive to left field. Gladden coming on. It drops in. Justice rounding third. Gladden firing home. He scores and the Braves win. Atlanta wins. Mark Lemke with a base hit and the Braves win it. 5-4 in 12 innings. The star of the game being mobbed by his teammates. Greg Olson grabbed him by the shoulders. Lemke chasing home David Justice with the game-winning hit. A rip into left field. Justice scoring from second, and it's a 2-1 series. The Braves are back in the Fall Classic. Final score in 12 nerve-shattering innings. The Braves 5 and Minnesota 4, and this crowd wants to party as the Atlanta Braves have won the very first and so far only World Series game played in the city of Atlanta. And what a way to do it. John Smoltz will be on the mound a little later today to tie this series up. The Braves are alive in the World Series. They have cut in half the Minnesota Twins lead 2-1. Final again in 12 innings. Braves 5, Twins 4, and we'll start wrapping it up right after this.
The Players Morning News, AM-750 WSB. Depend on it.
Well, Mark Lemke almost put the Twins up so far the Braves might not have been able to catch them with an error in the top of the 12th. But with his single in the bottom, he has put Atlanta back in the World Series. Braves win it 5-4 over the Twins. For the Braves, 5 runs, 8 hits. They committed 2 errors. They stranded a dozen. For the Twins, 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They stranded 10. Clancy gets the win. Aguilera gets the loss. And 50,878 got treated to a game here in Atlanta where they would have been better off selling standing room rather than seats. Nobody was in them for the last 6 innings anyway. So the Braves now draw within 1. It's 2-1 Minnesota with Game 4 coming up later on today. Stay tuned now for the star of the game after these messages on AM-750 WSB Atlanta. Darren didn't drive off the road on his way back to Montgomery. He's got an exam in the morning, but if he did, it's understandable. There are a few of us who have to collect our nerves before we go back home. And Dave, this is our star of the game segment, and I know you have a cast of thousands to choose from out there, but boy, you'd be hard-pressed to leave Bobby Cox out because he managed his butt off tonight. He did one great job of handling his roster.
No doubt about it. Without question, Bobby Cox, the star of the game. I thought he outmanaged his counterpart tonight, Tom Kelly, who had to go to his bench a great deal. Bobby was able to keep some of his key players on the bench tonight, some of his pinch hitters until the late innings when he really needed them. I thought he also managed his bullpen to a T.
Yes, he did. He did, and he still had some juice left down there, and he had Charlie Leibrandt, who was still available.
Well, tonight, the Braves win one for the ages, and particularly if they come back and win this World Series, which is a real good possibility right now. If Atlanta had not won this game in 12 innings, it would be the write-off segment of our show. But in 12 innings, the Atlanta Braves win it 5-4 on the Mark Lemke base hit, scoring David Justice with 2 down, the game-winning hit. And Bobby Cox, for managing a whale of a ball game, is the star of the game, receiving a bull of a watch from Friedman's Jewelers. Friedman's invites you to open a charge account soon, and we'll be back in a moment on AM-750 WSB.
At Delta Air Brand Jewelry.
In 12 innings, the Atlanta Braves down the Minnesota Twins 5-4 on the Mark Lemke clutch base hit, driving in David Justice from second. And suddenly it's a series again, and obviously, if the Braves had lost this one, everyone would be writing them off, and rightfully so, Don. The series would be all but over. But here in the wee hours of the morning, they pull another one out. I don't know how many more our fans can take or us in the broadcast booth, but the players seem to like doing it.
Well, you got the feeling out of Minnesota from a couple of them that all they were trying to do was get the situation where they were comfortable, down 2-0. And early on, you got the feeling here that this is a game that could swing and make a winner out of whoever won it, even if the Braves down still 2-1. It was the kind of game that would carry that much momentum.
Pete, do you think a game like this in which Tom Kelly really managed like it was his last ball game, he played all those guys, used all those pitchers, and still lost it? Obviously, he knew if he gets up 3-0, the series pretty much over. Do you think that takes something out of the Twins to lose a ball game like that?
Oh, it takes something out of the Twins after coming back from a 4-1 deficit, but he didn't use anybody longer than 2 innings out of that bullpen, so he still got most of his bullpen available for tomorrow. The same thing with Bobby Cox. Bobby didn't use any of his relief pitchers too long either, so he can still come back. Although Pena back-to-back days would eliminate him from Game 5 if he used him tomorrow. So that's something Bobby will have to think about if he doesn't get a complete game effort out of Smoltz.
It's Smoltz and Jack Morris a little bit later on tonight at 8:03. That's when our pregame show hits the air. We'll be back with more in a moment on AM-750 WSB.
This is John Madden. People want to know just how excited I really am about Walker Advantage mufflers. Hey, I'm excited. I mean, the Walker Advantage is the only muffler with Absorbite, a built-in rust fighter. It's the most advanced muffler you can buy. I even took my bus, the Madden Cruiser, and put a Walker muffler on it. And then I put the Walker toll-free number on the back and the Walker Advantage name on the side. Hey, when I get excited, I don't mess around.
For your nearest Walker Advantage installer, call 1-800-422-2484.
What's an Army Cavalry Scout exercise like? Hold on. When you're tracking an armor force, you follow the signs. Like these fresh tracks. Likely river crossings. Shh. Listen. Hear them? Here come their scout vehicles and their armor force. Mount up. We'll call in some firepower.
Be all that you can be.
Paid for by the U.S. Army.
My dad had one. He was a really big four-wheeling kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of a daddy's girl. He'd take me fishing and hunting.
And now you drive a Jeep Wrangler, too?
Yeah.
So you're still kind of outdoorsy.
Well, I still hunt and fish.
You do?
Not quite the same way.
What do you mean?
Well, now I fish for compliments.
Okay.
Always hunting for men.
Yeah.
Trust me, with the looks I get with this Wrangler, it is A1 perfect for the chase.
Jeep Wrangler, another advantage from your Jeep and Eagle dealer. Jeep is a registered trademark of Chrysler Corporation.
This is your best chance of the year to save really big on Goodyear tires. It's the Goodyear Buy 3, Get the 4th Tire Free sale. That's right. Buy 3 Goodyear All-Season Radials and get the 4th tire free. You can save on Goodyear Arriva All-Season Radials, Goodyear Eagle GT Plus 4 All-Season Performance Radials, and Goodyear Wrangler HT Radials for your RV. The Goodyear Buy 3, Get the 4th Tire Free sale. It's happening now at participating Goodyear retailers. Don't miss out. Sale ends October 26th.
Nobody delivers Atlanta's morning news like AM-750 WSB. Plus, every 6 minutes, its weather and traffic depend on it.
The 1991 World Series. The Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins on AM-750 WSB. Presented in part by Slick 50, the engine wear protector. The CNA Insurance Companies. Buick and your Buick dealer. And by AT&T on AM-750 WSB, the sports voice of the South.
Great ball game unless you have high blood pressure. The Atlanta Braves in 12 innings win it 5-4 on the Lemke hit, and it's back at it to try to even it up with John Smoltz tonight, Don. And airtime will be 8:03. And it'll be Jack Morris on the mound, the winner of game number 1 from Minnesota, and a tough customer.
Well, he is a good pitcher, but I think anytime the Braves have had adverse situations the last couple of weeks, they've had Messrs. Avery and Smoltz back-to-back, and I think the combination is a good one here.
Atlanta waited all these years to have a World Series game played in this city, and the first one ever played here is the second longest World Series game in history. Only one other longer game, 1916. When the Boston Red Sox played the Brooklyn, whatever they were called then. I don't think they were the Dodgers at that time.
Robbins.
That went 14 innings, and that's the only game longer than this one, and I think it's only appropriate. First game ever played in the World Series in Atlanta. Greg Olson drew the first walk ever by a Brave. He drew a very important walk in the 12th inning. Mark Lemke got the first World Series hit in Atlanta by a Brave. He got the game-winning hit. David Justice hit the first ever home run in Atlanta by a Brave in a World Series game. He scored the winning run.
All right, and Skip, who has joined us here and made the point earlier that if he shows up, the Braves win a World Series game. It happens every year. Skip has a final note for us.
Well, the only announcer undefeated in postseason competition. No, we want to remind you that David Paul is next on AM-750 WSB Radio, and remind you, too, the Twins left 8 men on base in the last 5 innings of the game, and that may come home to haunt them before it's over.
Indeed. The Braves with a big win here, 5-4 to stay alive in the series. The Twins lead it 2-1. Atlanta trying to even it up, 8:03 airtime tonight. It's Smoltz against Jack Morris. 5-4, Braves win a Classic in 12. For Don Sutton, Pete Van Wieren, Skip Caray, and our producer-engineer, Rick Shaw. This is Dave O'Brien. Thanks very much for being with us. Have a great morning, everyone, and we'll see you a little later tonight.
Atlanta Braves baseball. It's a brand new game. Good to have you along. Hope you're ready to cheer.
The 1991 World Series, the Atlanta Braves and the Minnesota Twins, was brought to you by Texaco, by Wendy's, by Georgia Power Good Sense Program. Good Sense saves you energy and money. By Sherwin-Williams, by Georgia Marble, by Avis Rent-A-Car, by Delta Airlines, the official airline of the 1991 National League champion Atlanta Braves, by Kendall Oil, by Goody's Headache Powders and Extra Strength Tablets. Goody's, the South's #1 headache powder. By the U.S. Postal Service, by Blippy's Subs and Salads, by the Atlanta Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Coca-Cola Classic. Can't beat the real thing. By Bulova and Freeman Jewelers. By Atlanta Lincoln Mercury. By Berryman Products. And by Winn-Dixie, America's supermarket, proud sponsor of the Atlanta Braves. America.